Welcome to Spartan Stadium in East Lansing, Michigan, for a matchup between two in-state rivals, the undefeated 7-0 number 2 Michigan Wolverines and the 2-4 unranked Michigan State Spartans. The Spartans won the opening coin toss and have elected to defer to the second half. To kick it away for Michigan State is the North Carolina transfer Jonathan Kim. It'll be Samaj Morgan back to return. I'd like to thank you for tuning into WCBN Sports live coverage of Michigan football. My name is William Gregory, joined today by my broadcast partner Kelin Flynn. This is being recorded, although we're saying it's live. We are having some broadcast difficulties here at Spartan Stadium, but we hope to get the broadcast live over the next few minutes. Kim's opening kickoff is taken by Samaj Morgan about 3 yards deep in his own end zone. Morgan only gets out to about the 16-yard line before he's tackled down by a few Spartans. Not a great decision there by the young freshman, tackled by Brandon Wright.
And William, that's exactly what this Spartan crowd wants early in the game. They want to see Michigan down deep in their own territory, give them something to cheer for here early. And that'll put J.J. McCarthy and company out on the field for Michigan, William, backed up deep.
3 wide to the left of J.J. in the shotgun. Blake Corum to his left. J.J. claps once. Now A.J. Barner comes in motion from left to right. It's a pitch out to Blake Corum to the left side. Blake out in space and is tackled down at the 21-yard line by Derek Harmon. Harmon, a big defensive tackle, gets out there in space and makes the play on Corum.
And William, that's a little toss play we haven't seen from Michigan so far this season. Pull the guard in.
J.J. back in the gun. Blake Corum this time to his right. 2 wide receivers left, 2 right. J.J. set to receive the snap. Drops back to throw. J.J. looks over the middle, flies. Blake Corum is checked down out to the 31-yard line. He's tackled by Jordan Hall.
Good protection from the Michigan offensive line there. Corum left all alone, and J.J. goes through his progressions and finds number 2 wide open, just a couple yards in front of the line of scrimmage.
And 5 Hall is a freshman flushed into starting lineup duty today, as he has all season, but Darius Snow, the son of former Philadelphia 76er Eric Snow, is out. J.J. comes out in a bunch set, 1st and 10 at the 33. 2 tight ends, 2 wide receivers to the left of J.J. It's a handoff to the right side to Blake Corum, working across an inside zone, and Corum is tackled about 1 or 2 yards ahead of the line of scrimmage.
That's the first positive play we've seen from this Spartan defense, and that's what they need. They've got to stop this rushing attack from Michigan and try to make force J.J. to make some mistakes through the air. The interior defensive line of Michigan State is this defense's strength.
A diamond formation to the right of McCarthy, now a shift. All wide receivers and tight ends moving to the left side. Now 4 wide to J.J.'s left. Colston Loveland works all the way to the left side, and I think it'll be an illegal procedure penalty. A lot of moving parts on that set on 2nd down and 9 for the Spartans. False start on the offense. Looked like they called it on 60, Drake Nugent, the center. It'll push Michigan back to 2nd down and 14 at their own 29. J.J. will stay in the gun. Donovan Edwards checks into the right of him. 1 tight end to the left of the formation. 2 wide receivers left. J.J. takes the snap. Back to throw. Looks deep down the slot to Roman Wilson, and it's knocked away. That's 15, Angelo Gross.
And Gross, the nickel, kind of a safety linebacker hybrid for the Spartans. Great coverage down the field. J.J. just a little bit underthrown. That ball was to Roman Wilson. If he led him by a step, Roman's got that and can maybe break a tackle and pick up 6.
3rd down and 14, 3 wide left. J.J. fakes a clap, movement on the line of scrimmage. And JJ will get a new play from the line of scrimmage, or from the sideline of Michigan. Colston Loveland in motion left to right now, flares back out left. JJ's got the snap, looking to throw. JJ flushed out of the pocket, rolling right. JJ deep down the field to Loveland, and he makes the grab for a first down. Oh, Barner, excuse me.
And how about that from J.J. McCarthy? Some of that McCarthy magic that we've seen from 9 this season. Flushed out of the pocket, spins around, and keeps his eyes downfield and finds number 89, A.J. Barner, open in the middle of the field. Great throw from J.J. McCarthy across his body. Puts it right on the numbers.
We have a injured Spartan on the play. Haven't checked the number yet. But we take an injury timeout here. And A.J. Barner has really been one of J.J. McCarthy's safety blankets. Colston Loveland is seen more as a downfield threat, but Barner has been used in the short passing game. Doesn't get as much volume as Loveland, but he's a trusted fifth-year senior transfer from Indiana. Jim Harbaugh called him one of the best run-blocking tight ends in the country.
And I just want to talk more about that throw from McCarthy. Had good protection. Spartan defense held, especially on the back end there. And then JJ breaks the pocket, keeping his eyes downfield, finds his tight end, and is able to make a throw on the numbers.
Looked like the injured player on that one was Simeon Barrow Jr. He walks off the field under his own power. Redshirt junior out of Grovetown, Georgia. Timeout on the field, and we apologize for the technical difficulties we've been facing in this game. We've had a number of them, as my broadcast partner Kelin Flynn is working with Michigan State IT to get this broadcast live. We got here in East Lansing about 5 hours ago. We were tailgating, made our way into the stadium, and found that our power supply had a pin bent, that we had to go work to find someone from the NBC staff. Shout out Peacock. And he had a Leatherman tool that eventually pried that pin free. He told us there was about a 38% chance that our board would work and we'd be able to deliver this broadcast at all, and luckily it did happen for us, but then the Wi-Fi problem struck and we're still waiting on that. But we have recorded this broadcast, at least the beginning of the first quarter. No score here. Michigan 1st and 10. At midfield, 12:23 to go in the first. The Wolverines digging out of a 3rd down and 14. They had 2 third down plays against Indiana last week in the first quarter that they were escorted off the field, having to punt both times. And that led to Indiana eventually holding a 7-point lead at the end of the first quarter, one of the longest times Michigan has trailed all year. First time they'd been held without a point in any of the first 3 quarters of any game.
And William, that was such a big 3rd down pickup for Michigan, 3rd and 14. We've talked about Michigan coming into this game, obviously a heavy favorite, but it's a rivalry game. Anything can happen. And you can't give this crowd something, this team something to feed off of early, and Michigan with a big 3rd down pickup there keeps the drive moving.
McCarthy stays in the shotgun. 1 tight end right, 3 wide receivers left. Now Max Bredesen motions in tight on the left side. Blake Corum to McCarthy's left. McCarthy play fake, rolls out left side. Pitch and catch caught by Cornelius Johnson, working up the left sideline before he's tackled down. Aaron Brule and Chance Rucker in there. The freshman Chance Rucker pushed into boundary corner duty with the season-ending injury to Chuck Brantley, one of the veteran contributors on this Michigan State defense. Rucker, the true freshman, now taking a majority of the snaps.
He's played well this season for them, relatively. He's a talented kid and has a bright future as a Spartan.
JJ in the pistol on 1st and 10 from the 39. In Spartan territory, JJ claps once, now gets the snap. Inside give to Blake Corum. He turns forward for a gain of 3 or 4 and is tackled down at the 36-yard line.
And William, opposite of Rutgers, number 21, Dylan Tatum, a former Michigan target. Wolverine fans may remember him from that recruitment cycle.
Second down and 6. Ball spotted at the 35. 2 wide receivers right, 1 left. Colston Loveland tight left to the offensive line. Tyler Morris, orbit motion behind McCarthy from left to right. It's an inside handoff to Blake Corum. He is tackled down, only a gain of 2 or 3 in the scrum. Early work for Corum. Looked like Brandon Wright in there for the Spartans. Michigan going fast here. 3rd down and 4 from the Spartan 33. 3 receivers right for McCarthy in the shotgun. Fake clap, looks back towards the sideline for the call. Blake Corum switches from the left sidecar to the right, and JJ looks to take another 3rd down snap. Roman Wilson, quick motion, now goes back right side. JJ drops back to throw. He's got Roman over the middle. Roman inside the 20, 10, tackled on the sideline, going out of bounds. Stop made there by Jaden Mangum out of Birmingham Groves. Nice play by McCarthy to find Roman Wilson underneath. The Spartans lost track of him after a little spike motion. Mangum in pursuit along with Cal Halliday, the Spartans star linebacker. JJ, goal-to-go situation here from the 8, 1st down. Blake Corum to his left. A.J. Barner tight to the left at the line of scrimmage. Max Bredesen motions inside as an H-back, and an inside give to Blake Corum nets 3 yards to the 5. Michigan electing to spread it out early and often here in the first quarter. Bredesen checks out for Colston Loveland. It'll be a 2 tight end set with Barner and Loveland. Tyler Morris out there with Cornelius Johnson. JJ in the gun. Corum motions from left to right. McCarthy gets the snap, handoff inside Corum. Corum working inside. Corum to the goal line is tackled down. It looks like short of the plane of the end zone. We'll have to check the official's call. He got a good late stage push, but it looks like it'll be 3rd down and goal from the 1-yard line. Jumbo package comes out for Michigan. Trente Jones in as the 3rd lineman. We've seen this a lot this season. 3 tight ends, Bredesen, Barner, Loveland. JJ yet to go under center on this drive. He will here. Bredesen lines up as the fullback in the I formation. Blake Corum behind him. JJ gets the snap, bobbles it, gets the handoff to Corum, and he bursts into the end zone for a Michigan touchdown. We'll wait for the signal, though. And it is a score! Michigan up early, 6-0. Little bit of a miscue there on the snap from McCarthy. Bumps into Corum. Corum goes into the end zone anyways. And Michigan is on the board first with 8:46 remaining in the first quarter. James Turner is on for the extra point. Now 8:50 remaining in the first quarter. Pending the extra point to make it 7-0. And the Wolverines, after being shut out in the first quarter against Indiana last week, go right down the field, convert 2 big 3rd downs and a 3rd one by the goal line to set up Blake Corum for an opportunity to have an easy handoff dive into the end zone. Turner's kick is up and good. Michigan up 7-0. Again, we apologize for these technical difficulties we've been experiencing at Spartan Stadium. We're trying to do our best to bring this broadcast. We'll try and have it live by the end of the second quarter. It's been a bit of a mess here in East Lansing trying to get this broadcast to function. I appreciate my partner Kelin Flynn right now trying to do anything he can. So we're in a media timeout. Michigan up 7-0, 8:50 left in the first quarter. Trying to get this broadcast set up in a way that we can bring it to you. And again, appreciate everything. Sorry we cut out there. We had to switch the feed on the broadcast, having some adapter issues. But trying to work to give this game to you. So Michigan goes down the field. Big plays by A.J. Barner over the middle. Big play by Roman Wilson to get it in close to the end zone. And then McCarthy able to hand it off after a bobbled snap to Blake Corum to get him to breach the end zone. And I apologize for the technical difficulties we've been facing. You're listening to this on playback. Not sure what you're getting. Michigan is going to take the field to kick off after their opening drive score. Tommy Doman, who's converting on touchbacks about 70% of the time, set to boot it away to the awaiting Tyrell Henry. Also out there for the Spartans, 0, Alante Brown, the transfer from Nebraska. Michigan special teams have done a great job limiting return yards here. And if Doman can boot it out of the back of the end zone, won't have to give any plays to a relatively dangerous return man, Tyrell Henry. Doman kicks it off and sends it out of the back of the end zone for a touchback. The Spartans will start this drive from their own 25-yard line with 8:50 to go in the first quarter. Quarterback Caton Hauser takes the field, took over for Noah Kim last week in starting duty. He'll have the running back Nate Carter to his left. Starting in the shotgun, Montori Foster, Trey Mosley to his left, and Christian Fitzpatrick, the other wide receiver, to his right. Evan Morrison at tight end. First play is a handoff out of the gun to Nate Carter, charging through tackles. He's down 2 yards ahead of the line of scrimmage at the 27, second down and 8. For Michigan State. They go quick here. Now in the pistol, Hauser. Handoff once again to Nate Carter, and he is stacked up by Braden McGregor in the backfield. Huge tackle for loss by the Wolverines. McGregor cut right through and met Carter in the backfield, spilled him for a loss of 2 or 3 before they called forward, progress having been stopped. MSU is going to have a 3rd down and 10 at their own 25 early in this game. Against this vaunted Michigan defense, it's not a good idea to get behind the sticks early. Mosley in the slot left. Hauser takes the snap from the gun. Hauser, pressure, drops it off to Carter. He breaks a tackle of Mike Barrett and picks up a first down up the right sideline before he's upended by Will Johnson at the 42. Good catch and run by Carter to get out for a first down, clock running. State breaks the huddle. 2 wide receivers right, 2 left. Carter stays to the left of Hauser in the shotgun. Only 5 in to protect the young quarterback. Hauser takes the snap, drops back to throw. Blitz brought by Sainristil in the nickel. Hauser able to deliver it outside to Trey Mosley. He's tackled about 2 yards ahead of the line of scrimmage by Malkari Page. 2nd down and 8. Now from the Spartan zone 44, full defensive line platoon change for the Wolverines. Derek Moore, Rayshawn Benny, Kenny Grant, and Josiah Stewart come in for McGregor, Harrell, Jenkins, and Graham. Spartans go 3 wide this time. Malik Carr, first time we've seen him in tight, the left side of the line of scrimmage. Hauser motions Carr to the right side. takes the snap, rolls right, and a holding call is going to be leveled against the Spartans as Hauser is able to dump it off to Jalen Berger in the flat. Pretty clear hold on the outside. Carr working against Derek Moore. Still second down after the 10-yard holding penalty on Malik Carr. Second down and 18 from the Spartan 34. And any momentum on that big first down pickup on third down by Nate Carter may be lost here as Caton Hauser gets the play from the near sideline, comes back on the field, quick huddle break. Two wide receivers to the right side, one left. Malik Carr in tight right side with Nate Carter in the backfield. Hauser, draw play, it's Berger. Berger up the gut, tackled by Kenneth Grant after a gain of about 2 or 3. We'll check the spot. Ball at the 37-yard line, third down and 15. 6:03 to go in the first quarter. Berger will come out, and Hauser, another third down and long for the redshirt freshman quarterback. Pushed into starting duty a week ago from Anaheim, California. A 4-star, one of the highest rated recruits in Michigan State recent history at the quarterback position. Hauser, 4 wide set, third down and 15, running back in to protect. Hauser, right side, caught. Montori Foster at the 47-yard line, escorted out of bounds by Will Johnson at the 49. And it looks like just short of the first down, 4th down and 2 at midfield, and the Spartans not looking to punt here, having a golden opportunity to stay on offense and keep that Michigan offense off the field down 7-0. Hauser, the youngest quarterback to start in this game for the Spartans since Jeff Smoker in 2001. Big 4th down and 2 spot at midfield. 2 wide receivers left, 1 right. Evan Morris in tight to the right. Nate Carter, now a jet motion. Nate Carter inside. Stacked up by Michigan at the line of scrimmage. Does he have enough for the first down? Officials coming in. It doesn't look like he has it. Both sides pointing to their respective interests. Mike Sainer still is jogging off the field like Michigan made the stop. And on 4th down, Michigan forces Michigan State off the field. A turnover on downs with 4:47 to go in the first quarter. Michigan will take back over, up 7-0. Still some broadcast troubles here. I again appreciate my broadcast partner Kelin Flynn for troubleshooting. So we've reached another media timeout. It's left me to do a one-man show. You're not listening live to WCBN Sports, but I hope you're catching it on the replay. Again, Wi-Fi troubles and other issues have kept us from doing this broadcast live at Spartan Stadium, and it's a darn shame. The family ties run deep in this game. Family ties run deep in this game. I am set up to be the first in my family to graduate from the University of Michigan. I did have my Aunt Stevie go for a year before leaving school. Everyone else in my family went to Michigan State, Ferris State in Eastern Michigan, as well as an uncle that went to Michigan Tech before he dropped out. But I'm proud to get my degree from this university, and I know my partner Kelin, his brother goes to MSU right now, and a few of his cousins. We were at a tailgate that was thrown by a few members of his old neighborhood, and it's always a warm experience coming to East Lansing. And of course, Ohio State, Michigan State football is seen as a huge rivalry, but when the Wolverines set up to play the Spartans, it's an affair for the entire state of Michigan. Families get together. Everybody watches this game here in this state, and if you're not, what are you doing? Even if the records aren't matching up to what they were earlier in the decade, Spartans at 2-4 on a 4-game losing streak would like to be better, but you know, in a lost season like this, if you beat Michigan, that's about all you need to call it a successful year. especially being able to knock off the Wolverines when they seem set to go to their third consecutive college football playoff. And this is a Spartan program, obviously, that had success earlier in the 2010s under Mark D'Antonio. Now Mark D'Antonio, an assistant to the head coach Harlan Barnett after the departure of Mel Tucker. Barnett has been on a Michigan State coaching staff for 15 years, was an assistant under D'Antonio, left to Florida State for a few years over the pandemic, came back, now the interim head coach with D'Antonio to help him out. He played DB here at Michigan State as well, so you could say he's a lifer. He knows what this game means. He talked about in his press conference that, you know, he would have liked to win more games as a player, but obviously had success as a coach, and he would love to win this game. His first time in this rivalry as the Michigan head ball coach. As we exit this media timeout, J.J. McCarthy is going to retake the field. Looks like they're going to start in a pistol look with Donovan Edwards behind J.J. Double tight to the left side, two wide receivers right. J.J. looking to get a call from the line or from the sideline. Level tight end set. J.J. play fake to Dono over the middle and caught. Strong hands by A.J. Marner. All the way out to the 37-yard line. And seems as though as Kelin's patting me on the arm here, we're not going to be able to go live, but we will still call this game. We're here for a reason. Kelin, welcome back.
Oh, this has been an eventful first even just hour of being here. I mean, really since we walked up here, nothing has gone right. But big thank you to the Michigan State IT staff. They've been great.
JJ's going to give this ball under center to Donovan Edwards, and he's stacked up for a big loss. Aaron Brule back there to make the tackle. And again, you can keep going, Kelin.
Yeah, everyone at this MSU IT staff and everyone up here, all the ushers and everything have been fantastic in trying to get everything figured out. It just appears that it may be a equipment issue on our side, and there's not much we can do about that.
On second down and 14 from the state 40-yard line, JJ back to throw. He's got A.J. Barner over the middle, and a nice stick made by Aaron Brule to keep him from picking up any more yardage. Third down and 13 now at the Spartan 39 for the Michigan offense. Another third down and long for Michigan. They've converted two of them, each on the last drive. J.J. McCarthy, empty set. 5 receivers before Donovan Edwards motions into the backfield to the left of him. Now Dono flares all the way outside. A screen set up on the right sideline. Donovan Edwards loose up the right sideline, but he's tackled before getting the first down. And it looked like with a burst of speed, he could have been gone.
And William, credit to all 3 of the receivers on the right side of that formation there. I believe it was number 8, Tyler Morris, Colston Loveland, the tight end, and Roman Wilson. All 3 held their blocks perfectly and allowed Edwards to spring forward for the big pickup there in the first down for Michigan. That is what Jim Harbaugh preaches, and that's why right there, big pickup on third down for Michigan yet again.
First down and 10 at the 25, knocking on the front door of the red zone. JJ, 2 wide receivers left. Tight end Colston Loveland works his way all the way tight right of the line of scrimmage to the near sideline, wide left. JJ gets the snap, drops back to throw. Pressure comes. JJ steps up, rolls right into the end zone. Touchdown, Michigan! Roman Wilson! Oh, baby, what a rollout by McCarthy, and finds his favorite target, Roman Wilson, for another touchdown.
Hey, we've said that a few times this year, haven't we, William? 9-1.
Absolutely. Looking at the replay, what an athletic play by J.J. McCarthy to get out of the pocket after the pressure arrived and delivers a strike to the right side of the end zone to Roman Wilson.
And we've talked about this so much with J.J. That's what makes him special, that escapability, ability to break, contain, and punish a defense even if they've been able to get pressure in. That is really difficult to do with how good this Michigan offensive line is. And then when you're able to even get a guy to break through, JJ's able to escape and still look downfield and deliver the ball accurately to his receivers, and that's what makes him so dangerous. And that's why last year he won that job over Cade McNamara, was that ability to create these off-script and off-schedule plays, because Jim Harbaugh and this coaching staff knows that that is what you need to win at that very top level, to win a national championship, to win games in the college football playoff. You have to have a quarterback that can make plays and create for you.
With his 10th receiving touchdown of the season, Roman Wilson now has the most receiving touchdowns by a wide receiver in the Jim Harbaugh era. 10 of them. And we're only 8 weeks into the year.
We've still got 3 more quarters in this game. I would not say he's done.
14-0 after the James Turner extra point. 1:55 to go in the first quarter. Michigan out to an early lead. Now, the MSU offense had some momentum, but they couldn't get out of their own way. On 4th down, big stop by the Michigan defense. And that wouldn't have been a situation on 4th down if not for a Malik Carr holding penalty that bumped the Spartans back before big catch and run set up a 4th down and 2.
Thanks for the rundown, William. I have had no idea what's been going on. I look up every time there's a cheer, but I've been trying to figure all this mess out.
Well, we're going to have at least a recorded broadcast of this game. If not a live one. Got to get something on the airwaves.
Still fun to be here. It's been an awesome day. My whole family's in town. My Uncle Kevin flew in from Rhode Island and my Aunt Sue, so great to have the extended family in town, and had a great tailgate with a bunch of friends and family, and now we're up here in the press box. It does not get much better than that for a day of fall football.
And we're not live. Might get a little bit loose here. Might have a little bit of fun.
The trees,
Spartan Stadium.
The trees in East Lansing are beautiful. Before it got dark out, we were able to look out over East Lansing and this campus here, and it looks absolutely gorgeous from up here.
It does. Tommy Doman is going to kick off for the second time. Had a touchback on the kickoff prior. Set to boot this one away with Michigan up 14-0 in the first quarter. Doman a bit shorter. Fair caught at about the 13-yard line by Alante Brown. Not the primary return man for the Spartans, but makes the catch anyways on the left side. The Michigan defense, after forcing a turnover on downs, retakes the field. Now, Kelin, I know you weren't watching, but Michigan State was going a little bit quick on their first drive. Had a 3rd down and long. A pass to Nate Carter in the flat resulted in a big play for a 1st down on 3rd down and long. They had another one. That play set up a 4th down and 2, and Michigan made the stop at midfield. Now the Spartans have the ball back. Double tight set. Caton Hauser looking to take this ball under center. Nate Carter behind him. Pitch play. Carter up the gut. He is stacked up at the line of scrimmage. No gain on the play. Everybody on the Wolverine defensive line in there on that one.
And William, I just don't like that play call one bit. This is a Michigan defensive line that is excellent at stuffing the run and getting through, and a slow developing run play like that is just not what you want to do against this Michigan defense. Isaiah Stewart was the one that made the play, and he had plenty of time to get back into the backfield and wreak havoc.
Not beef stew. Josiah Stewart.
Did I say it was Isaiah Stewart?
Pistons are on your mind. Caton Hauser drops back to throw, and the pass is batted down at the line of scrimmage by Kenny Grant. The big fella has been touching the football a little bit more than you thought he would over the past couple weeks.
I believe that's his 3rd batted pass of the season.
And he's got an interception. Usually we see it from Braden McGregor, but Kenny Grant getting in there, low throw from Hauser. Grant sticks the big paw up.
This Michigan defensive line as a whole has been fantastic at batting down balls this season.
And they got 12 deep guys that you'd be comfortable playing. 3rd down and 10 from the Spartan 25. They haven't gotten a yard on this drive. Hauser, 2 wide receivers left, 1 to the right, tight end, tight to the right on the line of scrimmage. Trey Mosley motions from left to right. Hauser drops back, pressure coming in, throw gets away, and it's nearly intercepted by Josh Wallace on the right side. Hasn't had a pick yet this year, dropped that one. He knew he wanted it. And for the first time today, the Michigan defense has forced a 3 and out. And this Michigan defense has forced nearly 30 of those this season, 3 and out punts. They don't allow a first down on opponent drives nearly 45% of the time.
That's pretty good.
45%, 4 plays, and you're done on offense for opposing offenses against Michigan. It looks like Ryan Eckley on to punt for Michigan State. Goes out on the sideline. Pretty good punt. Michigan State does use 2 punters.
I think they're going to say Morris Fair caught that. Morris took off, kind of looking like he was going to try to return it, and the officials blew it dead.
Yeah, I was confused. We're on the far end zone on the north side of the stadium. Morris Fair caught that towards the south. I had a little bit of trouble. Illegal formation on the punt, and we're going to re-kick a 5-yard penalty, so it'll be 4th down and 15 for Michigan State. And they had a trouble with the snap play last week against Rutgers. Michael O'Shaughnessy, the transfer from Ohio State, part of a 2-punter system with Ryan Eckley, dropped the snap in the end zone, and Rutgers recovered it for a touchdown. That was part of their big come-from-behind victory, winning that game 27-24 after being down 24-6 early.
And in what's been a disastrous season for Michigan State, special teams has been a real area of weakness this season. We've seen a number of blunders in that third phase of the game from the Spartans this year.
4th down and 15. After the penalty, they're at their own 20. Eckley's going to punt it away with 1:03 to go in the first quarter. Morris stays back there. No fair catch this time. Morris gets a block and is upended at the 34-yard line. Good tackle made by Malik Spencer. Michigan's going to have the ball on offense once again. They've already scored twice in this opening frame. Going to have the ball for a 3rd time.
And this Spartan student section, which was very loud pregame, awesome environment here at Spartan Stadium. Obviously not as big as the Big House or as big as Beaver Stadium or the Horseshoe down in Columbus, but they get rowdy here in East Lansing, and they're trying to cheer on their team to get back in this game.
I formation, motions into an offset I. Bredesen motions right, a toss play to Blake Corum. Gets the ball to the 35, gain of 2 yards. 2nd down and 8 for Michigan. They'll have to run one more play here in the first quarter.
And William, I'm really interested to see, with Michigan up 2 scores now, if they look to just ground and pound this game away already in the first quarter, if they're going to stay aggressive and continue to take shots downfield.
McCarthy in the gun, Corum to his right, 3 wide receivers. Trips to the right before Cornelius Johnson motions to the left side. McCarthy back to throw, out in the flat to Blake Corum, bobbles it. They're going to call it incomplete. Could have been a backwards pass, but it's whistled dead. 3rd down and 8 for Michigan.
JJ just missed a bit high there. Nothing else really to say. Corum wide open on a little swing route out of the backfield.
There's Fred Moore in motion, the freshman, not Cornelius Johnson on that play. He's been getting some burn. Another freshman, Carmelo English, is out for this game. He caught a touchdown, his first of his career, against Indiana last week. McCarthy, 3 wide receivers right in the gun on 3rd down and 8. From their own 36, McCarthy nearly gets a Spartan to jump off sides. It looked like Zion Young on the defensive interior. McCarthy gets the snap. Michigan State only brings 4. McCarthy steps up in the pocket, finds Colston Loveland over the middle, and he dives over midfield, picks up the 1st down. The tight ends getting involved early and often, especially on 3rd down here today for the Wolverines. That's the end of the first quarter. Michigan up 14-0 over the Michigan State Spartans. And that was another instance of J.J. McCarthy being able to sense pressure, get out of the pocket, and find a trusted target over the middle. You're only going to hold up in coverage so long against all of these talented Michigan weapons. Michigan State, certainly on the back end with the injuries that they've had, not capable of doing that for upwards of 3 seconds.
And this is one of the most talented, I'd say arguably the most talented and productive, maybe is the better word, receiver groups of the Jim Harbaugh era. You look at from top to bottom, guys like Cornelius Johnson, Roman Wilson having a great season, and the tight ends, Loveland and Barner. Loveland is somebody that this coaching staff is absolutely enamored with, and for good reason. One of the best tight ends in the country, and he's only a true sophomore. Showed bright flashes as a freshman last year, and has continued to produce for Michigan this season. In the sport of football, the position of tight end has really jumped into a position of notoriety over the last decade or so.
Well, and Loveland's like 6'5", almost built like a big wide receiver, moves like one. Jim Harbaugh has talked about,
and he blocks
Loveland,
too.
and he's talking about Loveland saying, like, he doesn't know how good he can be. Like, Jim Harbaugh thinks that he is the best tight end to ever walk through the doors of Schembechler Hall. He said as much in the press conferences that I've watched. And I mean, I think he's right. To be honest, I think Loveland is special.
I completely agree with you. I mean, you
50,
just got to
54-yard touchdown last week against Indiana, broke free.
And that's not a
second level
ball downfield. That's something he caught and had 30 yards after the catch of breaking tackles and weaving through defenders.
Well, that's the thing in vogue for tight ends. They're so big. If they can move like that, you want to get them on the move and have them rumble through secondaries.
And we've seen at Georgia, Brock Bowers absolutely demolish SEC defenses.
Now he's out.
And now he's out, and that's going to be a big blow to the Bulldogs, who are currently ranked #1.
And they still got to play Mizzou, and they still got to play Florida. They've struggled against teams like Auburn and South Carolina this season. And Michigan just keeps handling business. Like, I know that the talk about the schedule has been that they haven't played anybody, but show me another team that beats every team they play by 40 points. There's nobody else in the country that does what Michigan does.
And the nuance to that is this isn't Michigan leaving their starters in, playing Corum and Edwards and McCarthy through the fourth quarter. They're going up and pulling those guys at the end of the third quarter. And in the fourth quarter, the depth of this team shows as the backups continue to run up the score on their opponents.
Jaden Denegal's thrown for a touchdown. Jack Tuttle, two of the backup quarterbacks that have made the trip to East Lansing. And Jim Harbaugh made sure to keep Jack Tuttle in on fourth down last week to throw a touchdown to Carmelo English against his former program, Indiana. Kind of a funny moment. Already up big in the fourth quarter. So it'll be first down and 10 from the Spartan 49-yard line. The Michigan offense, frankly, being able to move the football at will in this game. They've had a few third downs, but nothing that McCarthy hasn't been able to handle. This is the most hostile environment he's faced this season. It's a packed house here at Spartan Stadium, filled with a good bit of Michigan fans.
A lot of Mason blue,
especially directly below us. But this is still a hostile environment. Probably the biggest student section he's seen so far this season, away from Michigan Stadium, of course. J.J. McCarthy now takes the shotgun snap, handoff up the middle to Blake Corum. He gains about 5 yards to the state 45, 44. Now second down and 5.
And this game, through one quarter of play, to me, it screams the maturity of J.J. McCarthy and how he's developed as a player in his now third season in Ann Arbor. He is in complete control, complete command of this game.
McCarthy starts out under center, barking some orders to the line of scrimmage. Now busts out into a shotgun formation. Corum to his left. Two tight ends to the left. Inside give once again to Blake Corum. Corum hits the second level and falls forward. Gain of 4 yards. Third down and 1.
And William, you talked about Colson Loveland potentially being the best tight end ever to walk through the doors of Schembechler Hall. J.J. McCarthy, at least for the last decade or two, is looking like he might be the best signal caller to walk through those doors. And when his career at Michigan's all said and done, he'll have a compelling argument potentially to be up there amongst the all-time greats under center for the Wolverines.
And They actually say that Blake Corum did make the line to gain, so it's 1st and 10 for Michigan at the Spartan 39. And Fred Moore in there once again. Now motions right to left. Sprints outside. JJ under center. Play fake. Looking deep. JJ works a layered throw over the middle to Roman Wilson. It's too far ahead of an incomplete.
And that was the first real risky throw I've seen from JJ today. Had to layer that through a couple defenders, and he got it through, but couldn't quite connect with number 1.
Darius Clemens now in the game at wide receiver, and Michigan rotating their wide receiver position quite a bit. Tyler Morris also out there. A.J. Barner and Colston Loveland have been getting a lot of work. Loveland's wide left, Barner's wide right. Donovan Edwards with McCarthy in the shotgun. Quick throw, right side, caught by A.J. Barner at the 30-yard line, twisting down to the 28. And they're going to call that another first down for Michigan.
A.J. Barner been getting a lot more play time these last couple of games as he's really settled into the system, it feels, William. Maybe not play time, but definitely seeing a lot more involvement in the offense for sure.
First down and 10 at the 29. 12:56 to go in the second quarter. Michigan up 14-0. It'll be Loveland and Barner out there once again. Loveland in the slot right, Barner wide right. Now Barner motions inside, tight right to the line of scrimmage. McCarthy with Donovan Edwards to his right. Pitch play outside. Edwards working against the right sideline. Cuts back inside and is tackled down at the 20. Stopped there by Dylan Tatum from his cornerback position.
I believe they're former high school teammates.
No, Tatum's from Farmington Hills. Dono's from the DMV.
Dono's from West Bloomfield.
Oh, I'm thinking Corum. My bad. But they're not high school teammates, I think. Might be mistaken.
You have to check yourself on that. I think they both went to West Bloomfield.
Corum gets an inside give on 2nd down and 1, picks up the first down easily to the 14-yard line.
Regardless, William, this Michigan offense has been
flustered.
downright unstoppable today. I mean, it's been like a hot knife through butter. It hasn't been necessarily explosive chunk plays downfield. It's just been steady, consistent pickups every time they snap the ball. And on the few times they have been behind the chains, J.J. McCarthy's been able to engineer some excellence.
First down and 10 at the 16. J.J. in the shotgun, 2 tight ends to the right, 2 wide receivers left. 1 wide receiver comes in motion left to right. It's Tyler Morris. J.J. all day to throw, senses a little pressure. Works around the line of scrimmage. J.J. tries to make a move to the left side, and he's sacked. Taken down by Aaron Brule, who has played magnificently, one of the best Spartans on defense today. Second down and 16.
That's JJ just trying to do a little too much there. Moving around in the pocket, okay, and then he eventually breaks free. JJ running all the way toward that left sideline, has nowhere to go. Just got to either tuck that and run or flip it out of bounds.
Second down and 16 from the 22. JJ looks like a free play. It is. JJ going deep to the end zone. Colston Loveland caught. Touchdown, Michigan. Loveland, his second touchdown in as many games. Boxes out his man in the slot, makes the grab. Touchdown, Wolverines.
And we saw Angelo Gross downfield with Roman Wilson earlier today. This time Gross just too little for number 18, Colston Loveland. He's a matchup nightmare for opposing defenses.
20-0 pending the third James Turner extra point of the day. 10:44 to go in the second quarter. JJ his second touchdown strike. 1 rushing touchdown and the first touchdown for Michigan by Blake Corum. Turner's extra point is up and good. Michigan's up 21-0. 20 minutes into this ball game. Again, we'd like to thank you for listening to this recorded broadcast of Michigan football on WCBN Sports. It's been a fun day. And now, I don't know about you, but the cold seems to be setting in, for me at least.
I've kind of accepted it at this point. I'm embracing it. I'm just trying to enjoy what we've got going on here. I mean, we're still up calling a game, Michigan football, Michigan State, a rivalry game. My first time in Spartan Stadium. It's been a fun game. Fun game for a Michigan fan, that is.
Michigan's up big, 21-0. Now, we're going to be watching this, but there's some milestones they can reach if they get to 40 or 50 points. I'll tell you when they get there, but the Wolverines have been breaking prehistoric records over these past few games in the Big Ten. They're doing stuff not been done since 1905 Minnesota, 1902 Michigan, stuff that's never been done in history. They're so good in every phase of the game. They really haven't been jumped on by any of their opponents in terms of extended periods of time. They've been down, I think, for 8 minutes against Rutgers and 5 and change against Indiana, and that's it this season.
And it really feels like, for a program that catches some grief for so many of their titles and whatnot coming in the early days of college football, for this team to be shattering so many of those records really goes a long way to show that this team is legit and that this team is here in the now and deserves that number 2 next to their name.
And this is the best stretch of Michigan football since the 1940s, since the back-to-back undefeated seasons in 1947 and 1948. You can say it's 1997, but that's one isolated season. I mean, there were nice seasons in between, but Michigan's had 2 straight college football playoff berths, on the verge of going for a third here. Obviously, they have 4 regular season games to go, a Big Ten championship against who knows in the Big Ten West. Iowa losing today to Minnesota 12-10. Maybe that spot goes to Wisconsin.
Still a long ways to go in that quest for that trip to Indy. I mean, Michigan's season still very well ahead of them, with Maryland, Penn State, and Ohio State all to wrap up the season, the regular season that is. A couple of big road trips in there to State College and College Park. I know you'll be on both of those trips. I'll be going with you to Maryland.
I'm excited. I've never been to either of those places. Tommy Doman, 3rd kickoff of the game. This one goes for a touchback after a fair catch on the last one. Michigan State's offense now taking the field closer to their student section than ever before in this game. 10:44 to go in the second quarter. Michigan's defense taking the field with their usual starters in the back end, but then obviously the defensive line rotating freely. Actually, it seems like Quentin Johnson and DJ Waller out there, and that's been one thing about Michigan. They've been able to give these young, inexperienced players, not that Quentin Johnson's inexperienced, but players that don't start a lot of experience in Big Ten games. Caton Hauser under center, 1st down and 10 from his own 25. Play action, Hauser drops back to throw, pressure arriving from Chris Jenkins deep down the field. DJ Waller in coverage, and he nearly intercepts the pass at the Michigan 45-yard line. Batted down incomplete.
DJ Waller's been a freshman that this staff has really liked, and I think he's somebody that next year could really thrive stepping into that number 2 corner role potentially for the Wolverines. We've seen his play time slowly increase throughout the season. He was battling some injuries earlier this year, but getting some tread here in Big Ten play.
And it's 3 new defensive backs, a new linebacker out there in Ernest Hausman. I mean, not that they're new, but not regular starters. Caton Hauser in the pistol. 2nd down and 10. Tight end tight to the line of scrimmage now. Nate Carter motions into a shotgun formation, gets the inside carry, a little bit of a hole before he is tackled down. Actually keeps his legs churning, gains maybe 7 or 8, and he's a very talented running back. Oh, they call it a gain of 6, 3rd down and 4. Nate Carter initially wanted an offer from the University of Michigan, didn't get one, went to UConn, transferred to Michigan State, and I'm sure that he's looking to prove something here, albeit with his team down 21-0 early.
Carter's been by far the most productive member of the Spartans offense this season.
4th in the Big Ten in average rushing yards per game. 3 receivers right for Caton Hauser in the gun. Takes the snap. Hauser. Lob pass deep to Trey Mosley. Good coverage by Mike Sainristil. Bats that ball away incomplete. No flag on the play. 3rd down and 4 turns into 4th down and 4. Michigan's defense forces another 3 and out.
And how about that from one of the best nickels in the country, Mike Sainristil. The slot corner for Michigan. This home crowd looking for a PI. That just looks like excellent coverage downfield from Sainristil.
Maybe a few years ago they call that a face guarding penalty, but no flag.
He turned around his head to look for the football.
Yeah, but he was leaning into him, you know. But Michigan's going to get the football back. Ryan Eckley on a punt once again. It's a short kick, but gets a good bounce. Tyler Morris is going to field it, though. Morris cutting towards the sideline, only gets out to the 21 or 22-yard line before he's tackled down by a few Spartans. And now we talked about Michigan State special teams trouble. Their long snapper, Hank Pepper Jr., no relation to the NFL long snapper and former Spartan Tabor Pepper, is in the transfer portal. So it's Drew Wilson out there, the transfer junior. He's been down making plays in the return game so far in this game, but that's another thing that this special teams unit, they're just in flux constantly. New long snapper, 2 punters. Not often you see a lot of things like that in college football.
And on the Michigan side, it looks like Tyler Morris has really locked down that punt return job. We saw in the first couple games of the season, Jake Thaw and Morris rotating back and forth. Thaw looked like he got the first crack at it and let a lot of punts land and travel and be downed inside the 5-yard line, inside the 10. And Morris has really won that job, it looks like, and again there, fields it and takes it up to the 20 rather than Michigan potentially facing a long field inside their own 10.
Jake Thaw, more of the safer option in the return game, but they've been working up Morris to get more of the work. 9:41 to go in the second quarter. Michigan gets the ball back for their 4th offensive drive. They've scored on the other 3 they've taken. So the question is, do they march down the field once again on the Spartan defense, surely to be demoralized? They've been jumped on in this game, almost unlike anything we've seen. A lot of Michigan's early starts have been catalyzed by turnovers, but this has just been straight dominance on both sides of the ball.
Yeah, and Michigan hasn't started off super fast in every game this year. And the one game I think we can say that they really jumped out to a quick start was Nebraska. But again, like you said in that game, Heinrich Harburg got a ball tipped up into the air and picked off. After Michigan's first score, they had the ball again inside the red zone. And so that kind of jump-started the quick start for the Wolverines. This has been just good football on both sides of the ball, all 3 phases from Michigan. Haven't made many mistakes, and McCarthy's been able to bail them out of any that they have made on the offensive side.
And to talk about Michigan's defense, they haven't allowed anybody inside the 10-yard line all season. There have been no goal-to-go situations for Michigan.
That's a wild stat. Like 7 weeks into the season.
Now 8, a quarter and almost a quarter and a half into this game. Michigan doubling up MSU's time of possession. They're going to go back on the field. Regular starters out there. They've gotten the younger players some burn here, but now it's the real regular starters. We get a diamond look once again. Maybe Michigan's going to try that exotic shift they did on the first drive that resulted in a false start. They will do it. They're just going to try it again. Those 4 wide receivers on the right side, motion to the left. JJ. Couple motions, move Donovan Edwards out. It's a give up the right side to Blake Corum, who churns forward for a gain of 5. Michigan maybe just trying some new things already with some space to afford to be able to do that. They've been really comfortable in these games once they get settled in. McCarthy now 2nd down and 5 from his own 26. Edwards to the right of him in the shotgun. 3 receivers left, 1 right. JJ claps. Looks like a Spartan blitz. JJ looks to the sideline for a call. We've seen that quite a bit in this game. Clap cadence useful in a road situation. Loveland comes in motion. It's a give up the middle to Donovan Edwards, who fights for the first down. No, he's just short of the line to gain. 3rd down and 1 at the 30-yard line.
And that's a gaping hole that Edwards is able to run through there. Credit to this offensive line that it's looked like it's been shored up. We saw some rotation early in the season. Miles Hinton and Ladarius Henderson both transferred in, but it looks like from left to right, it's Henderson, Keegan, Nugent, Zinter, and Barnhart at right tackle.
That's been the regular offensive line for the past few weeks, and it's been really effective for Michigan with the insertion of Ladarius Henderson. Jordan Hall, the 4-star linebacker, freshman, down on the field for Michigan State. They cannot afford another injury on this defense. They're already short a linebacker in Darius Snow today. It's been Brule, Halliday, and Hall. And the linebackers have played well. It's actually, I think, one of the strengths of this Michigan team. They do a good job, at least compared to their talent in the run game. They also do a good job stopping opponents on third down. They came into this game third in the country, first in the Big Ten, only allowing opposing offenses to convert a first down on third down 27.4% of the time. Now, Michigan has done that quite a bit in this game, and they face another third down here. But the injury to Hall, he walks off under his own power.
Looks like we've got big boy football here from Jim Harbaugh.
Aaron Alexander, the new linebacker, out to replace him. 3 tight ends in the game for Michigan. McCarthy give up the middle to Corum. Tries to fight for a yard.
I don't know if he got there.
It looked like Roman Wilson was thrown down on the play too. Excuse me, not Roman Wilson. Check the number on it. Short. 4th down for the Michigan offense. And they're going to have to punt.
And I don't love that spot. I still think that Blake Corum was short there, but might have been a little shortchanged on the spot.
In any event, it's a 4th down. Tommy Doman on the punt. Doesn't do it often. Punts only about 2 times a game. And he'll boot it away. Big, booming kick all the way to the, looks like the referee will spot it at the 16-yard line of Michigan State, 17-yard line, 18-yard line.
Talk about flipping the field there, William.
First down and 10 for Michigan State at their own 18. Media timeout once again. 7:54 to go in the second quarter. And good stop for the Spartan defense, first time today.
That's a huge stop for a defense, and what Michigan's most known for is their ability to pick up a yard at any point in the game, and that time Michigan 3rd and 1 can't get the 36 inches that they need, and the Spartan offense gets a chance to take over on a defense that was really reeling there. I mean, that was a big time stop.
Big Ten scores flashing up on the scoreboard. A big one in the Big Ten East. Penn State falls 12-20 at Ohio State. Drew Aller, we were watching this game live, Kelin, did not look good. He only converted about 1/3 of his passes before that last drive that resulted in kind of a garbage time touchdown, but they had a chance to recover the onside kick. What does this mean for Michigan as now Ohio State still undefeated, Penn State with a loss? Michigan will be in Happy Valley in 3 weeks.
Well, here's what it means is Michigan still has to beat Ohio State, and where things get really weird is if Michigan drops a game in their game in Happy Valley and then beats Ohio State, Michigan's likely left on the outside looking in, and I believe that would most benefit Penn State, because then it would come down to the combined record of the Big Ten West opponents of each of the 3 teams, as we'd be in a 3-way tie with each team having 1 conference loss.
And Penn State's beaten Iowa.
Exactly, and Iowa most likely will provide the most wins of any of the any Big Ten West team.
And we'll have to see. Iowa, I mentioned it earlier, losing today to Minnesota. Kind of a surprise. Minnesota just scratched it out. Also, that game went under. If you bet on the under of 32, it was 22 was the final total.
It was well under.
Like, I told people before this game I would take it at 26, and it went under 26. This is the second game consecutively for Iowa. Their last game against Wisconsin was 15-6. That was 21 total points. I believe they need to average close to 30 points per game to have Brian Ferentz' contract be renewed, their offensive coordinator.
I don't see that happening.
I don't know. Deacon Hill.
They tried to run up the score against Western early in the season to give themselves some cushion. But the injury to Cade McNamara definitely hurt that, the chances of hitting 25 a game.
Their backup quarterback, Deacon Hill, with 37 passing yards in the win over Wisconsin a week ago. Caton Hauser retakes the field with the Michigan State offense after a big defensive stop on 3rd down. Hauser in the gun, drops back to throw, right side. He's got Christian Fitzpatrick, and it's knocked away by Amorian Walker. Incomplete. Michigan DBs have been active in this ball game.
And we've seen a lot of them cycle through. Walker, a converted wide receiver over to corner, 6'3",
from Ponchatoula, Louisiana.
And he moves really well, really fluid. He ran a incredible 3-cone time in the offseason that had this coaching staff raving about him.
He was hurt early in the year. He's gotten some more burn. I think they're just kind of working him up, but with the depth at cornerback, he's not really needed to play a lot of snaps. Hauser, double tight, 2nd down and 10 from his own 18. Nate Carter behind him. Tight end in motion. It's a toss play left side. Carter trying to cut up field is chopped down about 3 yards ahead of the line of scrimmage. Works it to the 20 or the 21-yard line. Called 21, 3rd down and 7.
Look at the total yards as we approach 7:30 to go, halfway through the second quarter. Michigan more than quadrupling up the Spartans, 215 to 45.
Michigan defense, you can bust out all the stats you want. They haven't allowed a point in the third quarter, 2 straight fourth quarters with no passing yards allowed.
12 first downs to 1.
It's just ridiculous. Hauser, 3rd down and 7. Spartans on the verge of their 3rd straight 3 and out. Looks like a blitz for Michigan. They bring 2 rushers. Quentin Johnson in there, almost free, cut down, good pass protection by State. Pass floated outside, incomplete to Monfori Foster Jr. And on 3rd down and 7, Michigan defense comes up once again. 3rd straight punt. No first downs on the last 3 drives for Michigan State.
And Hauser hanging in there and delivers a throw, but even if he was able to hook up with Foster there, that would have been well short of the sticks.
Tyler Morris back again to retrieve one more punt.
8's going to get a lot of work today back there.
Coming on the block is Caden Colasar, at least trying to block. Tyler Morris signaled for a fair catch and was bumped into, looked like by Alante Brown. That'll be a penalty, and Michigan's going to have even better starting field position on this drive. The fair catch signal was at the 36. And with Morris being touched, I believe that's a 15-yard penalty.
I believe you're right, and that's the kind of stuff that if you're Michigan State, you just can't have happening. And I know this is a game that you need a lot of things to go your way to win.
Kick catch interference on Alante Brown, 15-yard penalty. And you see where the spot is. I think it might be on the Spartan 43-yard line. No, they got that wrong on the scoreboard. I think it's going to be the Spartan 48 where Michigan's going to start this drive.
Michigan's
excuse me, go ahead, Kelin.
Just going to say, Michigan's first time starting off in Spartan territory, and they've already proven they can drive down any distance.
And I was going to say they had a punt on the last drive. Maybe some Wolverines fans hoping for one of these games. They had one last year against Penn State where the Wolverines don't punt. Excuse me, it was against Michigan State. McCarthy back to throw. Finds A.J. Barner over the middle to the 41, gain of 7.
It's been just a great job by J.J. McCarthy distributing the football to every target on this offense. We've seen the running backs get a couple looks out of the backfield. We've seen the tight ends very involved. Roman Wilson with a touchdown. There's no one you can key in on this offense in the receiving game.
3 receivers left. Corum to the right of McCarthy in the shotgun. Barner tight right to the line of scrimmage. Corum switches from the right to the left side, and the sidecar McCarthy. Loveland motions in tight left. JJ gets the snap inside carry once again for Blake Corum. Surges ahead. I think he has the line to gain. He didn't last time. We'll check the spot. Chains have not moved. I think it'll be 3rd down and short for the Wolverine offense. No, they will call it a first down on the scoreboard at the 38. 3rd down on the field. Michigan will see if they go big. No Kalel Mullings in this game. He was out last week. 2 tight ends to the right side of the line of scrimmage for McCarthy. Roman Wilson motions in left side, and Corum easily has the first down on another inside carry. Michigan just moving the ball methodically. 5:17 to go in the half, up 21-0. They've settled into this game. The defense has especially 3 consecutive 3 and outs, setting up the Michigan offense.
And I hate to to continue to use the boa constrictor analogy that Joel Klatt used, but it's really what it is. I mean, there's just, you know what's coming, and there's nothing you can do about it, and it's just such a slow and painful death against this football team.
Dono behind JJ in the pistol. Bunched wide receivers to the left and right. Pitch outside to Dono. Lead blocker Ladarius Henderson can't get a body on anybody, and Edwards is stuffed for a loss of 2.
And I know he lost 2 there, but I think Edwards has looked a lot better today than he has in recent weeks. He's had some trouble getting going this season, and he's popped a couple today.
4:30 to go. Clock running in the second quarter. Second down and 12 at the Spartan 39 for J.J. McCarthy in the Michigan offense. 2 touchdowns through the air for J.J. already. Couple fake claps. Still going. Now gets the snap. J.J. drops back to throw. Pressure coming in. Breaks a sack. J.J. out to his right. J.J. still rolling. Has a receiver open, but he's out and running for a first down and more. To the 21. J.J. tackled down.
And there's just nothing you can do about that as a defense. McCarthy evades 2 pass rushers and then takes off for a big gain downfield. He had Edwards potentially for a bigger pickup.
That's what I thought too.
J.J. McCarthy continuing to just befuddle defenses with his movement in the pocket and then his ability to get out and run.
And the Spartan down on the play, number 47, Jackson Wilson, the freshman, in on the tackle of McCarthy. Looked like he landed awkwardly. And the 3rd injury timeout for Michigan State. They cannot get a break health-wise this season. It's been kind of ridiculous. They had 10 players announced out in this game. A few players that were highly touted had not played at all this season. Chuck Brantley obviously out with that season-ending injury, along with Jacoby Windman, who was a potential NFL draft pick. But you also have Mahat Natiote, Ade Willie, By Job, Darius Snow we talked about, Dre Butler, and Kayshawn Blackstock. That's a lot of talent missing for State, and obviously they're a bit outmatched anyways in this game, but that can't help.
And for Michigan, they've just come in and I don't want to say they've taken care of business because they've looked better than that. Michigan is obviously supposed to come into this game and win handedly, but this has been sheer domination from the Wolverines. We've talked about it. 14 first downs to 1. 241 yards of total offense to 45. And no turnovers from the Wolverines. They've converted 6 third downs already today.
And this Michigan State defense is one of the best in the country at limiting teams from converting on 3rd down. 1st and 10 from the 22. McCarthy in the gun, Edwards to his left. McCarthy handoff inside to Dono. He's hit immediately at the line of scrimmage, falls forward for a gain of 1. And now we're seeing work for Edwards after a heavy dose of Blake Corum to start this game. He gets his touchdown, and now it's been Edwards who had his first touchdown of the season last week. Jim Harbaugh mentioned that it was like getting the first olive out of a jar. You get one and the rest of them come falling out. Made a noise like to mimic olives falling out. It just made me laugh. McCarthy from the shotgun. Couple wide receivers in motion. McCarthy over the middle, fires into the end zone. Touchdown, Michigan. Colston Loveland once again. A pair of touchdowns in this one. What a strike from McCarthy over the middle. His 3rd passing touchdown of the first half.
How about that anticipation from McCarthy? Loveland running open down the middle of the field and just threads it right through. Cal Halliday, number 27 for Michigan State, a great linebacker, especially in the run game, but is completely outmatched in coverage against Colston Loveland.
And who do you match up with him? We talked about he's too big for Angelo Gross, the nickel corner. He's too fast for Cal Halliday. How do you stop him? Turner's extra point is good. Michigan up 28-0 with 2:54 to go in the second quarter. But that's the problem with those big move tight ends, Kelin. Travis Kelce, obviously the best in the NFL Hall of Famer, but that's kind of the prototypical tight end these days. Nobody can guard him. There's nobody big enough, fast enough, or strong enough.
Well, you look at they're all over the NFL. Mark Andrews, Travis Kelce, Rob Gronkowski did that for a long time and was dominant. George Kittle has been excellent for San Francisco. TJ Hawkinson looking to kind of get into that stratosphere, but it is the new wave, and for good reason. It's just such a difficult player to stop when you have that combination of size and fluidity of movement and then receiving chops down the field. It's nearly impossible to stop. You need a true Swiss Army knife of a safety typically, or an incredible cover linebacker, and those guys just don't come around very often. It requires such a specific combination from the defense of size and speed that you don't see a lot, because those guys are often playing tight end or
yeah,
playing
you don't
a different
put them at
playing
linebacker
receiver.
if they can't, if they can do that, you put them at tight end. That's so valuable to have a guy that can block, run, catch, all that. I'm looking at the scoreboard, and this is quite frankly ridiculous as we have 2:54 to go in the second quarter. Now, Michigan, of course, wants to do this to their rival, but they've done something. 263 total yards to 45 for State, 15 Michigan first downs to 1 for the Spartans, 6 conversions on third down for Michigan. They have nearly 6 times more passing yards, more than that actually. A lot of multiplication. Looking up at that scoreboard right now. Zeke the Wonder Dog is catching some frisbees. That'll get the Spartan crowd involved.
Oh, we really need a Zeke versus Victor.
I have thoughts about that. Zeke's been doing this for a long time. He drops that frisbee there. But Red Fox Lab, to me, cuter than a black lab.
I won't comment on that.
Look at him.
He's an adorable dog. What do you want me to say? It's a very adorable dog. Deep water, the deep end getting a little less deep.
Yeah.
It's really shallowed out a bit.
I honestly, I mean, it's like 35 degrees.
I don't blame him. I don't blame him at all.
You're down 28-0 before halftime. Tommy Doman's going to kick off once again. Get his staffer coming over. Telling us that Victor's better than Zeke.
I think that settles that debate.
I've been seeing Zeke for a long time. My mom even saw Zeke when she was coming here. But the winners often write the history books. Those that are still in attendance in the Michigan State student section are having fun at least. What else are you going to do?
You just got to try to have a good time any way you can. If you dressed warm.
There's various ways to stay warm in the student section. And we won't talk about how, but
wear a coat.
That's
the easiest.
Do. Yeah, you're not.
Don't get me started. I'll call out Garrett if I need to.
Caton Hauser in the gun. QB draw, running up the middle. Hauser, we haven't seen his running ability today. Gains about 6 yards out to the 31-yard line.
And we saw Michigan State run Hauser a number of times in his only start this season against Rutgers at a 12-yard rushing touchdown on first down. And they like to run him on design quarterback runs on third and fourth down as well. Adds that extra dimension to stop for the defense.
They get him out early on first down, second down and 4. Tyrell Henry in motion from left to right. Hauser back to throw, pressure coming, dumps it off. That's Jaron Mangum, the brother of Jaden Mangum, has yet to play all season. The transfer from Colorado and UCF. He's played at both schools. Now at MSU, makes the catch out of the backfield and picks up the second Spartan first down of the game.
And Mangum was somebody that, in talking to Michigan State beat reporter,
Spartans going quick. Hauser over the middle, nearly intercepted by Mike Barrett. There's been 3 of those in this game. First half.
And Hauser's gotten lucky with a couple of those throws over the middle of the field. Not all of them have even been over the middle. Josh Wallace broke on one on the outside and just couldn't haul it in.
And that pass just sailed over the umpire's head. Maybe Mike Barrett was having his vision obscured by the referee. Drops that pick. Second down and 10 for the Spartans from their own 38.
Michigan hasn't dropped a lot of those this year.
Number of interceptions over the last few weeks in Big Ten play. Hauser, a lot of time to throw, goes over the middle to Tyrell Henry. He's dumped by Junior Colson after a gain of 2 yards.
And props to this Michigan State offensive line that has dealt with some injuries this season, and they've done a great job today of protecting Hauser for the most part. He's seen a couple of times where there's been defenders in his face, but for the most part, he's had enough time to throw and deliver the football downfield.
Now, we talk a lot about how Michigan wants to make this hurt for Michigan State. It's third down and 8. with 1:51 to go in the first half. Michigan calls timeout to get the ball back. The Spartans are near midfield. If this ball is punted, it's going to be down somewhere between the 10 to 20 yard line, and Michigan still wants to go down the field and try and score.
I don't want to talk too much about the incidents last year, but it's clear that Jim Harbaugh and this team and this staff has not forgotten, and they're looking to inflict some hurt on the field and keep it all within the gridiron and do their damage there.
And my opinion is, on the subject of potentially running up a score, stop them. You know, this is a game. You have 3 timeouts to use. Hauser drops back to throw. Pressure getting there, and he is sacked by Josiah Stewart. Transfer from Coastal Carolina registers a sack of the MSU quarterback, but as I was going to say, 4th down and 17 now. Michigan calls another timeout with 1:46 to go in the first half. They want this ball back badly.
And it is clear Jim Harbaugh, like I just said, has not forgotten what happened last year in the tunnel and is looking to repay the favor.
Now, maybe they've heard, but it's something that has been dug up. Michigan in program history has not scored 40 or more points against 4 consecutive Big Ten opponents. Ever. They have not scored 50 or more against 3 consecutive Big Ten opponents. Ever. These 2 things are in play, with Michigan right now on track to score 56 points. If they score 28 more in the second half, but if they score a touchdown again to make it 35-0, that's 70 points that they're on track for. Ryan Eckley on to punt for the 4th or 5th time. Can't keep him straight at this point. Tyler Morris lets it go out of bounds at the 20-yard line. Michigan's going to take the ball over there. A little bit of a scrum between some Spartans and Wolverines. Both parties go to the sidelines. The little mess is broken up. 1:39 to go in the first half. Michigan wants to score again. First string offense still out there. JJ up 28-0. Starting a drive from his own 20-yard line, 1st down and 10.
And with regards to Michigan potentially running up the score, I don't expect them to have JJ in here in the 4th quarter.
Again, they've scored passing touchdowns with 2 of their backup quarterbacks, so we'll have to see. JJ, straight drop. Right sideline, caught by Cornelius Johnson, tries to get out of bounds. He does. Clock stops as Johnson rolls to the 27. 2nd down and 3. Michigan still going to work quick, even though the clock is stopped. And now in college football, there still is a stoppage of the clock on 1st downs within the last 2 minutes of a half. 3 receivers to the left of McCarthy. He's in the gun with Edwards to his right. Cornelius Johnson close to the line of scrimmage on the right side. JJ back to throw. Over the middle to Donovan Edwards on the check down. He was looking for a wide receiver deep. Edwards picks up the 1st down to the 31-yard line. Clock stops momentarily. Michigan goes quick. Only 1 timeout to go after burning 2 on the last Spartan drive. 2 wide receivers left and right for McCarthy. He drops back to throw. Deep down the field, and it is overthrown. Oh my goodness, if that ball is put on Tyler Morris, he is gone.
And his defender fell down. I believe that was Tatum running with him on the outside there. Tatum just slipped and fell. Morris had a step regardless, but Tatum slipped and fell, and JJ just sailed that one a little bit.
Oh my goodness, and Morris did all he could to bring it down. It's just 2nd down and 10 from the 31. Samaj Morgan checks into the slot. First time we've seen him at wide receiver in this game. JJ takes a snap from the gun, passes away to A.J. Barner, breaks a tackle, and gets the 1st down by getting out of bounds at the 43 of Michigan.
How about that from the Indiana transfer? A little shifty footwork. Sheds a tackler after about a 5-yard pickup and picks up 7 or 8 more.
And he shed the tackle of Chester Kimbrough before being sent out of bounds by the strong safety Malik Spencer. JJ 1st down and 10 at the Michigan 42, 1:05 to go. He's got Donovan Edwards to his right, 2 wide receivers left, 2 right. JJ Time to throw over the middle, and it is dropped. Intended again for Tyler Morris. Tried to slide to the ground. He had beat Dylan Tatum, and another throw over the middle, but incomplete.
And that one JJ put right on the numbers. Morris just couldn't quite haul that one in. That'll be registered as a drop.
And that's, what would you say, about 100 receiving yards left on the field over 2 plays for Tyler
more
Morris?
than that.
Second down and 10 from the 42. Back-to-back first down plays intended for Tyler Morris that go incomplete. Michigan's offense still on the field with 59 seconds to go in the first half. 4 wide for JJ. Drops back to throw. Stunt by Michigan State. Time to throw for JJ McCarthy, who goes left side to Barner. This time a nice play by Chester Kimbrough to knock that pass out of bounds. Third down and 10 for the Michigan offense.
For Jim Harbaugh, he called 2 timeouts to get this ball back here, facing a 3rd and long now.
And it's a shot for Michigan State to try and get back on the field if they can stop the Wolverines here. McCarthy in the shotgun set once again. 3 receivers right, Edwards to his right. JJ gets the snap, drops to throw, looking left, now looks right, over the middle, caught by Colston Loveland. Another 3rd down grab for the Michigan tight end. All the way to the Spartan 36. And Michigan still going to go quick, only that 1 timeout. Clock stops on a first down.
How about these tight ends today, William?
Absolutely. 45 seconds in running. Inside give, Donovan Edwards. Edwards gets a little loose. Down to the 31, and we're probably going to see a timeout there, and it is called the last charge timeout for Michigan of the half. 40 seconds to go. Gain of 6 on the inside give to Edwards. Maybe you want to see a spike there rather than wasting a down, wasting a timeout instead of just wasting a down.
I'd agree with that.
Is a timeout worth 6 yards? I don't know. But Michigan stops the clock with 40 seconds to go.
Preserve the down? That would make it 3rd down.
You preserve the yardage.
Oh, you mean instead of just handing it off there, just spike it before the run play.
2nd down and 10 instead of 2nd and 4, and you still have 1 timeout. I think, me personally, I'd spike the ball. But Michigan comes back onto the field, and you talked about Colston Loveland making another big grab. He's got to be loving his usage in this game. The 2 tight ends stay on the field.
Spartans have had no answers for these Michigan tight ends.
I don't know who really would be able to. Excuse me, it's just Barner on the field. Roman Wilson in motion from left to right, settles in the slot. JJ gets the snap in the shotgun. Back to throw, over the middle, finds Barner once again. Barner out and running. Barner trying to break a tackle, gets to the 10-yard line. Clock stops with 33 seconds to go. Tackled by Mangum finally, working once again against Chester Kimbrough. Wolverines get up to the line of scrimmage. They'll respot the ball at the 10-yard line, 1st down and 10. 1st down and goal to go.
Look for Roman Wilson here.
McCarthy back to pass. Over the middle is caught by Donovan Edwards. Clock is still going to run inside of 20 seconds now. Wolverines have to spike this football or call a play. At the 4-yard line, JJ settles in the pistol. 12 seconds to go. They got to snap this ball. Donovan Edwards move, no false start. Pass complete into the end zone on the left side to A.J. Barner, but that is going to be a false start on Donovan Edwards, and we might get a 10-second runoff, depending on where the clock had settled by then. A little bit of confusion before the snap. I don't know why Michigan tried to come out in the pistol. Edwards didn't get set. That cost Michigan a touchdown. Would have been the 4th touchdown of the half for McCarthy. That is the end of the half. A 10-second runoff. No touchdown for Michigan. They settle to only be up 28 points at the end of the first half. And Kelin, what do you think of that last-second miscue?
Yeah, Dono at the last second just took a step backwards, and JJ obviously didn't see that and snapped the ball. It was a great play. Barner and a little flat route there, caught it and walked in for 6, but Michigan forced to, they got all the way down the field but couldn't punch it in. 333 yards of total offense in the first half for Michigan. JJ McCarthy racking up 270 yards through the air. I mean, that is one of the best, I'd say the best half of football I have seen from number 9 in his career.
And I mean, the Tyler Morris, two 2 passes were probably 100 yards left on the field. A touchdown to A.J. Varner taken off the board. It could have been even better. But Michigan, 1958 time of possession to Michigan State's 8:23. Michigan's not really scoring quickly in this game. They're scoring methodically, and it's something we've seen in Big Ten play. They've had upwards or nearly 10 drives in Big Ten play of 5 minutes or more of time of possession. They've had a bunch of 10-play drives. I had looked at the charts, and on their second touchdown drive against Indiana last week, they had half of their touchdown drives in Big Ten play reach 10 plays or more, and that was before they rattled off a few quick touchdowns after some Indiana turnovers. But, like, this offense just it has big playability, but they love to move it down the field and score after keeping your team off the field for a long time.
Because they can, and that's the kind of football Jim Harbaugh likes to play. Obviously, you like shot plays and big plays downfield, but what Michigan just did in that first half is Jim Harbaugh's dream style of football. Dominating time of possession, just methodically moving the ball downfield with little opposition on the offensive side of the ball and executing in the red zone. Michigan, outside of that last drive there, converted every drive that they took into the red zone into 6 points. And on the defensive side of the ball, yeah, they could have had a couple interceptions that they didn't haul in, but the defense was suffocating. The run game was completely clogged, and the defensive backs were making plays in the secondary.
We've got the Michigan band taking the field. Michigan up 28-0 against the Michigan State Spartans, showing why they're the second best team in the country. We're going to let you listen to the Michigan Marching Band along with the Michigan State Marching Band for the halftime show. For Kelin Flynn, I've been William Gregory. Catch us back on the second half. Thank you for tuning into WCBN Sports. And we're back. Tommy Doman set to kick off to begin this second half. Michigan State had deferred. Michigan got the ball first. 28-0. 3 first-half passing touchdowns for J.J. McCarthy. 20 of 26, 270 passing yards. That's a game line for a lot of quarterbacks. For J.J. McCarthy, he did that in the first half, and this isn't some air raid spread offense. They methodically moved the football down the field, had the ball for a majority of the first half. Doman sends it out of the back of the end zone where Michigan State will take over.
And we were talking about he could have had more. He could have easily gone over 300 yards in that half.
And like Michigan's offense this year has transitioned to more of a pass-heavy approach. I mean, it's not like the running game isn't showing up, but there's an emphasis on giving J.J. McCarthy the football.
And that's because they trust him now, and for good reason. He's been absolutely fantastic today.
I mean, it helps that you've got all those weapons. A.J. Barner goes over 88 yards at tight end. Loveland catches 2 touchdowns. Roman catches a touchdown. Katin Hauser in the pistol for Michigan State's first drive of the second half. Handoff on the left side to Nate Carter. Spun down to the ground. Mike Barrett in there on the tackle along with Mikey Sainer still. And Carter spins for 5 up to the 30-yard line.
And we haven't had to say his name a lot, but Makari Page there, number 7, coming down from that safety spot. Him and Rod Moore and Keon Sabb as well might be the best safety trio in the country.
Blitz brought by Michigan on 2nd down and 5. Mason Graham, swim move into the backfield. A little bit of extra pressure brought, freed the big man up. And Graham, who has been on a tear after coming back from injury over the last 3 games, has a tackle for loss on a designed quarterback run for Katin Hauser. 3rd down and 9 from the Spartan 26. 4 wide receivers for Hauser.
It's a true sophomore wreaking havoc in the backfield.
Incredible football player. Now starting on the edge. Michigan sends 5. Pressure arriving for Hauser. Gets the ball complete to Malik Carr. Moves the chains up to the 37-yard line. Good pitch and catch from Hauser. Spartans go quick. They got to put points on the board here, down 28-0. Michigan, pressure arriving again on Hauser. Delivers left sideline, caught by Christian Fitzpatrick. Tossed to the ground by Will Johnson. And another good gainer on a passing play. Up to the 44. Big group substitution for Michigan on defense. Ernest Hausman and the new defensive line come out onto the field. 3 wide for State this time here. Tight end Evan Morris in a bit of an H-back roll. Nate Carter motions left to right for Hauser in the gun. Give left side Carter, big hole. Will Johnson, the only man to beat, gets him down by a shoestring, and Carter working free here on the first drive of the 3rd quarter for Michigan State.
And Carter has looked as good as he can today. I mean, he's made a couple of guys miss, broken some tackles. Maybe the yards per carry, not exactly what you'd expect from him, but going up against a really tough Michigan defense that's been hitting him right on the line of scrimmage consistently, that's good numbers.
And MSU in Michigan territory at the Michigan 45. False start there. They're going to blow this play dead. The right side of the offensive line moved too soon for Michigan State. That was Gino Vandermark and Spencer Brown on the right side. And something to watch here as Michigan State moves into Michigan territory. Now they'll have the ball at midfield, 1st down and 15. Michigan has not allowed a point in any 3rd quarter this season. 12:36 to go in the 3rd. State driving. Something to watch in a game that's kind of already out of hand. Those statistic marks are what we're looking out for as this game. I mean, talking about this game wrapping up, there's still a whole half to go, but Michigan completely dominant in the first half. Obviously, 28-0 is a lead that can be surmounted, but as Nate Carter gets the give on 1st and 15, spun down by Derek Moore. 28-0 can be overcome, but very unlikely. 2nd down and 15 after a no-yard gain for Nate Carter. Spartans still at midfield.
And that Michigan defense tightening up now.
2 receivers left, 2 right. Hauser stays in the shotgun.
Look for some pressure here.
Hausman comes in. Michigan rushes 4, get pressure. Hauser gets the throw off to Montori Foster Jr. He's escorted out of bounds by Makari Page. Flag down on the play. We'll see the call.
And are they going to say, did Foster step out before he took?
Well, there's a flag on the opposing sideline as well.
Yeah, I just saw.
I think it is a legal receiver out of bounds. The penalty's on Michigan State.
That ball was right on the sideline, and it was a clean hit from Page.
Ineligible receiver downfield. It's Gino Vandemark, the right guard.
And Vandemark, not a. They've messed around with that guard spot a little bit, and Vandemark getting the nod today at right guard has not been the everyday starter. Draws the flag there.
He's been banged up a bit. Came into the season as the ideal starter. Seen a couple guards in that spot. Penalty drawn, 2nd down and 20 for Michigan State. 2 procedure penalties back them up to their own 45. Inside give, couple linebackers converging on the MSU running back. Nate Carter gains 6 more yards to the Michigan 49, 3rd down and 14. Michigan's defense trying to prevent a score for the first time in the 3rd quarter here.
3rd and 14, they've got them right where they want them. Obvious passing situation. You see Jalen Harrell in the game for Michigan, one of their premier pass rushers off the edge.
Harrell joined the 3rd, also in the backfield at running back. Had been playing safety this year, but with the injuries.
Got 1 touch last week against Rutgers.
He's in there as a pass protecting back. Hauser in the gun. Drops back. Not a lot of time. Dumps it off to Joyner, trying to break a tackle and does not. Tackle made by Junior Colson at the Michigan 42-yard line. 4th down and 7, and State has to go for it here, down 28-0.
Yeah, they absolutely do. And just, I mean, you're not going for a field goal at this point in the game anyways, but Jonathan Kidd with a great leg.
You're not going to punt
yards
either
out of his range.
This is no man's land. Maybe if they weren't even down this big, they'd still go for it. Crowd on their feet. What's left of it at Spartan Stadium. Hauser drops back. 4 wide receivers. Right side is intercepted. Easy play made on the boundary by Will Johnson. He's off and running. Penalty flag on the field. Johnson going into the end zone. Touchdown Michigan, but we'll have to check the flag. Sainer still. Excuse me. Tough to see the numbers. But I think it's coming back.
Yeah, it looks like it is. A lot of flags thrown. Now it looks like that'll be on the run back, I believe, as Harbaugh, as our officiating crew, will circle up. I think that was on the run back, though, William.
Yeah, I think so, too. And it was Mike Sainer who returned an interception for a touchdown against Rutgers. We're kind of positioned in the far end zone, and Sainer made that play about as far away as he could have been. Personal foul on the right tackle, Spencer Brown, and that's a pick 6 for Mike Sainer still. But we're going to see if he stepped out of bounds. He might have.
It's hard to tell from that angle.
They review every scoring play. Michigan's going down to kick the extra point, but I think there could be verifiable evidence that Sainer still stepped out of bounds.
He looks in bounds there.
They're gonna take a look at this play. Whole bunch of things going on. There's another look that he might be out of bounds.
Really tiptoeing the sideline there. Going to be tough for Sainer to stay in. I mean, there's a bunch of points they're going to look at.
The penalty is on Michigan State, so if Sainer still is inbounds, it's an interception return for a touchdown. And Michigan will be up 34-0 pending the extra point. And if he is out of bounds, Michigan will take over where the officials determine it. But let's go back to that throw. I called it Will Johnson. It wasn't. Sainer the receiver on that play, kind of just lost track of the ball, and Sainer makes just an easy interception.
Yeah, it looked like Hauser and the receiver, I believe it was Mosley, were just not on the right page there. Mosley kept running downfield. Hauser thought he was going to come back for the football and put it right on the sideline, and Sainristil just put on the brakes and fielded that one like a center fielder.
And a former wide receiver.
And just started going the other way. We saw Sainristil take a interception to the house against Rutgers earlier this season.
Now, if Owen Crane were here, he'd probably say that the video board isn't big enough and it's not giving us a good enough angle. That's what I think, at least.
I wonder what he'd think about the two little video boards in the north end zone.
He would have some sort of thought about them. That's for sure. 9:49 to go in the third. Sainristil's interception return for a touchdown under review. J.J. McCarthy is warming up on the far sideline. Student section nearly empty now on the opposite corner from us. It's really a whole lot of maize and blue is the predominant color we're seeing, at least.
It helps that maize really pops, but there is a lot of it.
And a lot of Michigan fans in front of us directly, and I think they're above us as well. They tend to stick. Touchdown, Michigan, rolling on the field stands. Mike Sainristil, second pick six. And I believe that's the fourth interception return for a touchdown by Michigan this season. They've only allowed 3 passing touchdowns, which is a pretty ridiculous stat.
And after that, even more Spartan fans heading for the exits as Let's Go Blue chants ring out through Spartan Stadium.
And Hauser had 3 balls that he was lucky that they were not intercepted in the first half. The first one of those is actually picked off here in the second. First turnover of the day for the Spartan offense that wasn't a turnover on downs. James Turner's 5th extra point is up and good. Michigan up 35-0, 9:49 to go in the third quarter. Now Michigan yet to shut out an opponent this season. They've had close calls against Nebraska, against East Carolina. Both of those shutouts came down to a play within the last 3 or so minutes. Kelin, what does Michigan need to do to maintain the 0 on the scoreboard?
They just got to keep playing their style of ball.
Keep doing what they're doing.
There's not much else to say. In a rivalry that has really been in favor of the Spartans over the last 15 years.
They've won 10 of their last 15.
This is a game that we have not seen in this rivalry in a long time.
Yep.
A game as one-sided as this. I mean,
and Michigan did win
domination at every level from the Michigan Wolverines.
Michigan did win this game a few years ago, 55-10, but I don't recall that game being as dominant of a performance as this. In all phases, Michigan has dominated.
There hasn't been a single bit of life from the Spartans, and I'm not trying to.
Well, there was a bit before 2 penalties when they crossed midfield. That was about it.
I'm not trying to pour salt on the wound by any means for Spartan fans, but it's more so just a credit to this Michigan team. They are that good, and they just suck the life out of everyone that they play.
I want to see how many people are doing the cowbell cam right now. I'm trying to get the crowd fired up. This is more Owen Crane style fan entertainment. I don't really know why Will Ferrell's moving so weirdly on the scoreboard. I don't like it very much.
One guy on the Jumbotron there, he had ski mask on and ski goggles and a hat.
I'm sure I would like a ski mask on right now. It's a little chilly up on the 6th floor photo deck here at Spartan Stadium.
Great view of downtown East Lansing, though.
A couple class buildings that we can see. I believe we can see Beaumont Tower, but I could be mistaken. Now it's a little too dark out. The rain seems to not be coming down as it once was before, but it looks like a steady mist. It's been a rainy few 2 weeks, the past 2 weeks in the state of Michigan. I'm sure all of us, at least myself, I'm anticipating the snowfall. Freezing rain does.
It's coming. It's coming.
It does nobody any good. Let's see some snow on the ground instead of just gross Michigan fall, spring kind of weather.
We just got 3 minutes of a Will Ferrell hitting a cowbell gif on the scoreboard.
He's still going. He is still going, folks. And with the Spencer Brown 15-yard personal foul penalty on the Sainristil return for a touchdown, This kickoff by Doman is going to be taken at midfield, so we might see a squib, maybe a kind of abbreviated onside kick. And he is going to squib this football. No touchback can be called. It's fielded at the 1-yard line by Tyrell Henry. Makes a couple cuts and gets up to the 16-yard line before he's tackled down by a few Wolverines. 9:43 to go in the third quarter. MSU to take the field once again. We're going to see if the starters are still out there on the field. It looks like, for the most part, they are. Jade McBurrows now checks in.
I'd expect him to play through the end of the third quarter.
Yep.
We saw McBurrows getting a couple snaps.
Memorial Walker in there. So it's a mix. Getting some guys in, reps with the first team defense. And of course, in a road game, Michigan only travels about 75 players.
And that was an emphasis from Michigan this offseason, is building that depth and not being worried about one injury tanking the season.
Handoff to Mangum on the right side by Hauser. Gains 2 yards to the 17. Second down and 8. And Michigan, we've seen all these graphics come out over the last few weeks in the Big Ten. They've played almost everybody on their travel rosters. 74, 75, only guys left with a backup long snapper. They've been able to get their players.
Shout out Greg Tarr.
Shout out Greg Tarr. He played last week. Hauser to drop back to throw once again. Caught by Trey Mosley at the 17-yard line. Tackled down by Josh Wallace at about the 23. Close to a first down. 3rd down and 2. 3rd down and 1. They'll call it at the 24. Spartans go quick. Evan Morris late coming on the field, trying to get Trey Mosley off. A lot of time on the play clock to get this settled.
So Michigan's going to substitute now.
Yeah, and State's having a lot of problems with the substitutions. Michigan can take as long as they want, and this play clock is going to go down far.
Cam Good gets run off the field as Michigan continues.
Michigan still jumbling their defensive formation, and Michigan State, for some reason, calls a timeout. Michigan was not set on defense. Just a wild series of
really
events.
Weird series there.
They took the entire play clock down, and Michigan State finally had Michigan jumbled. 3rd down and 1, you think you just want to even take the ball as a quarterback and sneak it forward for a yard, but Harlan Barnett calls a timeout. And
well, in a situation with a young quarterback like Caden Hauser, you're not don't have the confidence or maybe the keys in the offense to get up there and make that call.
Yeah, I mean, you talk about a quarterback like Caden Hauser, the pressure's off now. You're down 35-0. You're just out there playing ball. And for a young guy like him, only making his 2nd start in his career, there's a lot of time left in this game for him to develop at least a little bit. Now, Michigan might not be playing full speed and with their full complement of starters, but it's still valuable experience for the young quarterback. He's under center. Single back look, double tight end. 5 down linemen for Michigan. 3rd down and 1. Spartans, quick toss outside. Trying to get the outside corner is Carter, and he's stuffed. Tackled for loss. Loses 3 yards. And Michigan State's going to have to punt.
Boy, is this Michigan defense putting on today, William. I mean, this front, these linebackers.
Doing an M signal in the student section. The linebackers are very good, but I just caught a student in the Michigan State student section, a Michigan State student, dropping the M. Ryan Eckley to punt, high snap, retrieves it. High arcing kick, fair caught by Tyler Morris at the 36-yard line of Michigan.
Another student got on and tried to tame the Cobra. And camera quickly panned up from there.
Having fun here in East Lansing.
We're doing all we can to stay warm
Michigan
up
35-0.
45 degrees.
You folks don't know what this has been. 7:50 to go in the 3rd quarter. We started with a power cable not being able to work.
I mean, there was about a 65% chance that we weren't putting on this broadcast at all.
And, well, we're not putting on a live broadcast. This is being recorded. We are watching this game live as it happens.
Live from Spartan Stadium.
And maybe if you'd give us a little bit of grace, things are causing us to be a bit flustered up in the booth, missing some numbers. I apologize for that.
We don't have any Wi-Fi connection.
We don't have any Wi-Fi connection. No live stats for us.
I'm prepared for this, though. Alex Miller and I had to do a 10-inning softball game where we didn't even have the rosters from Bowling Green. No live stats, and
number
Bowling
25
Green literally they had alternate pink jerseys, and we were told minutes before kickoff that the numbers did not match up.
Softball.
Before first pitch, that the numbers did not match up to what was on the roster. They had alternate numbers, and so
that's always fun.
We were able to figure out some of the starters, what their numbers were, but once they started making substitutions, we had no shot.
And Zeke's back out there. He's not having a great showing today. Makes a catch at the 12-yard line.
Victor's kind of showing him up.
Yeah. Oh, off the bounce in the end zone. Zeke makes a grab.
Good second effort there.
That is a cute freaking dog.
We're trying to focus on the positives here for Sparty.
Oh, big hug for Zeke. He just wants to play. Let's see it again. To the end zone. Bobbled and incomplete. Zeke can't make the catch.
The grab, maybe?
He's a retriever. The retreption. The retrieval.
It's a retrieval.
Retrieve is a good word. They say that when a punter's going to take a snap, he's going to retrieve the punt. I always like that. Anyways, 35-0. Michigan leading.
Your English major is showing.
We're talking about words here, folks. What else?
Oh, the cold's getting to us.
I'm just bouncing around. We're having fun. We're loose. J.J. McCarthy still in there. First down and 10 from his own 35-yard line. Tight end tight to the line of scrimmage on the right side is A.J. Barner. Inside give to Blake Corum. Has some running room. Flag down on the play. Corum out and running. Gains 13 or 14 yards and is tackled out of bounds late. Scrum on the Michigan sideline. And the penalty is thrown there. That might be, well, it's going to be a personal foul on Michigan State for a late hit.
And
looked like Malik Spencer. But I want to check the flag on the other side of the field that happened during the run.
The officials getting over there real quick to squash that. Obviously a rivalry game, bad blood in the air. You don't want that in a blowout like this.
Well, in 35-0, neither of these teams can afford to lose a player for the next game.
And if you're Michigan and you're Jim Harbaugh, do you consider taking out J.J. McCarthy maybe earlier than you would?
Two personal foul penalties on Michigan State. I thought it was a hold on the right side. It's a hands to the face call on Derek Harmon. And then Malik Spencer, the illegal hit out of bounds. That's 30 yards in penalties. Personal fouls, they get aggregated.
So Michigan's going to essentially flip the field here.
And they're not really doing anything. That was a lot of Michigan State's doing. We'll check the spot of the football. Michigan's going to move up from the 35. Well, they had like a 12-yard carry and then 30 yards worth of penalties. So I'm curious to see if they give Michigan the full complement of yardage. That's like 42 yards. And I think they are. The chains just keep moving.
And this is
a 45-yard play for Michigan.
And this is just good coaching from Jim Harbaugh. Having the culture of this team keeping their heads level when you're one of the heart and souls, a captain on this team. Blake Corum gets a late hit out of bounds, a dirty play. So you keep your cool and you know that you have bigger things that lie ahead.
A 12-yard carry from Blake Corum takes the ball from the Michigan 35 to the Michigan State 23 by virtue of two Spartan personal foul penalties. Michigan all of a sudden has a shot to score another touchdown real quick here. Max Bredesen in motion from right to left. Inside give to Blake Corum is slammed down to the ground after a gain of 1 or 2, and another flag flies. I think this might be a penalty on the Spartans for a horse collar or a face mask. It was kind of a violent takedown on Corum. We'll have to check what the flag is. Corum's going to check out of the ball game. I'm unsure if we see him again. Face mask on MSU, 15-yard penalty. Half of the distance to the goal. It'll put the ball at Michigan State are on the 10-yard line, and State can't get out of their own way.
If you're Michigan State, you've got Harlan Barnett. You've got to settle your team down here. I mean, I know the game is a lost cause at this point, but
that's 3 personal foul penalties on 2 plays.
That's just unacceptable.
First down and 10 at the 11. Michigan has barely done anything to get down this far.
45 yards. Well, that last 15 won't be the full 15.
It's like 42.
Almost, yeah.
Compared to
40 yards and penalties.
15 yards of actual offense. We're going to see the freshman Ben Hall in the backfield on first down and 10 at the Michigan State 11. JJ fakes it to him, rolls out to throw. It's caught. Touchdown, Michigan. A.J. Barner finally gets the one that he missed out on in the first half, and Michigan's up 41-0, pending another James Turner extra point.
And William, this is your time to shine. 41 points.
This is the first time in Michigan program history that they have scored 40 or more points against 4 consecutive Big Ten opponents. The last time they scored 40 points against 4 Big Ten opponents non-consecutively was in 2018. I love stats. This is stat time.
Stats and numbers.
Extra point is good. 42-0 is our score. And it's really only Michigan fans.
It's all maize and blue here in Spartan Stadium.
There is still 21 minutes and 44 seconds to go in this game.
The student section is all but empty. And I don't blame them.
What else? There's really nothing else.
It's 40 degrees outside. Your team's down 6 touchdowns.
Sparty's flying in the end zone, though. We're going to check some scores. Ole Miss up 21-14 on Auburn. LSU putting the hurt on Army 45-0. Duke still up 20-17 against Florida State in the third quarter. And Virginia putting North Carolina on upset watch, 31-27 in the fourth quarter. Other scores: Utah and USC tied at 14. Miami and Clemson deadlocked at 7. A lot of movement in the AP poll. Not a lot of movement from the University of Michigan. Well, maybe. With a performance like this against your, I would say, most heated rival, there could be some movement. I think
you mean Michigan State's most heated rival?
Michigan and Michigan State, I think. The sparks fly. Like, the games might be more exciting against Ohio State, but every Michigan State game, there is some sort of anger. We've talked about this like a million times with each other.
I think we have a tinted view being in-state people that have such a connection to Michigan State that this game means more to us than the average Michigan fan. But
if you say an out-of-state stater that went to Michigan, probably they view Ohio State as the most heated rival. But I feel like anyone from the state of Michigan, like, this is the game to me. Like,
it's hard to say. It really is. And in a year like this, it's definitely not.
Well, this is, you can make a lot of assumptions about this Michigan team. I'll put it on the line right now. This might be the greatest Michigan football team of all time.
Maybe got to get it done. You've got to get it done in December and January.
One of Fielding Yost's early teams in the early 1900s scored 555 points and allowed none, but they're playing against janitors, so. This team, like, you could see 20 draft picks on this team.
Yeah.
After 10, how many draft picks last year? I don't know, whole bunch.
11, I think it was.
So, it's just time to have fun. Now I think we're going to see some players off the bench. I got to check 30. That might be Will Rolat, but it also, I don't think Jimmy Roller will be playing. But there is a 30 on the field. Roller hasn't played all year. Not likely to be him. We saw Rolat play last week, but I think we're going to see, I don't know who traveled with the team. We might see some debuts here.
The Michigan managers are having some fun over there on the sideline.
Shout out the other Donovan Flournoy. Kick off out of the back of the end zone for a touchback. Another one for Doman.
Might have put that through the uprights. The wind's blowing hard that way.
6:44 to go in the third quarter.
This feels like
it is Jimmy Roller. Jimmy Roller making his season debut playing linebacker here today. That's good to see.
And he's somebody that Michigan is looking to redshirt this year, but you get a couple of games to burn and maintain that redshirt.
Keyshawn Harris out at cornerback, Jade McBurrows in the nickel. DJ Waller, we've seen him have a pass breakup in this game on the outside corner. Hauser back to throw from the shotgun. Pass intended for Tyrell Henry, incomplete. Coverage on that play, Jade McBurrows.
McBurrows was in that competition for the number 2 CB spot opposite of Will Johnson on the outside, and obviously I guess you could say St. Ursul's the number 2 cornerback, but the opposite boundary corner of Will Johnson, and it looked like the transfer Josh Wallace won that job, but Amorian Walker and McBurrows getting some run out there as well as Waller.
Amorian Walker made it on the Feldman Freaks list. St. Ursul's still on the field here. Comes in for McBurrows. Another blend of starters and backups. Hauser drops back to throw. Check down to Nate Carter. Carter just slides down before Rolder and Junior Colson collide.
Junior Colson, we haven't said his name a lot today. You talk about guys
he still made some plays, though,
that are going to be NFL draft picks and making plays at the next level, playing on Sundays. Absolutely, Junior Colson is in that category.
3rd down and 2 at the Spartan 33. Caton Hauser faces another 3rd down. Michigan looks like they're going to bring pressure. They send 5. It's an inside carry. And Nate Carter is stuffed, does not get the line to gain. It'll be 4th down and 1 from about the 34-yard line. Michigan has already in this game forced a 3 and out on defense. Michigan has forced a 3 and out from the opposing offense in every half this season, which is ridiculous. They forced 3 and outs per game, at least. And I think they've had 5 in this one. Ryan Eckley's going to punt away again.
And Jake Thaw now back deep to receive for Michigan.
Everybody's going to get some work here as we move forward in this game, but I do think that Jim Harbaugh is aiming for the 50-burger. Eckley, 4th down and 1, boots it away. Jake Thaw, fair catch at the 15-yard line. Retreating backwards, makes the grab. We'll call it the 14, and that's where Michigan's offense will take the field. We'll see if J.J. McCarthy is still in at quarterback. I would suspect not. Probably see Jack Tuttle or Jaden Denegal. But he is out there congratulating his special teams unit and guiding the offense on the field. J.J. will go back to the sideline. It's Jack Tuttle. And a whole new offensive line. Josh Beetham out there at tight end. Ben Hall, Samaj Morgan. Cornelius Johnson still hasn't had a lot of playing time, is out there on offense. And we'll see the second team offense get to work.
JJ's day is done with 5:16 to go in the 3rd quarter. JJ along with the rest of the offensive superstars.
Samaj Morgan in motion from right to left. Inside carry for Ben Hall. Gains a yard. Maybe no gain, they call it at the 14, 2nd down and 10.
And this is one of the reasons why Michigan is so good and so deep, is because all of their backups have so much experience in game.
And we'd probably be seeing Kalel Mullings here. We did in cleanup time against Nebraska, but with his injury, it's Ben Hall, the true freshman, who stepped in. DJ Stokes hurt. Cole Cabana not entirely ready. Ben Hall is the 3rd running back here with Mullings out. Tuttle back to throw, makes a nice pitch outside to Cornelius Johnson close to the near sideline.
Ball had some zip on it.
He is tapped down. 3rd down and 3 at the Michigan 21-yard line. Donovan Edwards checks into the ball game here. He's still, I mean, like, you talk about the Michigan starters, some of them still need work. They haven't gotten a lot of touches late in games. Edwards in on 3rd down and 3 to help Tuttle out. 3 receivers to his left, including a tight end Beetham. Tyler Morris also in the game with Samaj Morgan in the slot. MSU sends a 5-man pressure, blocked well by Michigan. Tuttle, pass batted at the line of scrimmage. He had CJ on a drag route, but it's incomplete. 4th down and 3. Tommy Doman will come on for his 2nd punt of the day.
I guess you're looking for positives if you're Michigan State. Good stop by your defense.
And looked like that play was Raheem Anderson getting pushed back a bit. I'm not sure. On the offensive line, a 2nd team unit in the ball game for Michigan. second team punt unit as well. Here's Tommy Doman. Set to boot it away. Retrieves the ball. Retrieve a nice word. Boots it to Tyrell Henry, who will fair catch at the 31-yard line of MSU. That's where Caton Hauser will take over if he's still in this ballgame.
Tommy Doman, way more kickoffs than punts this year, which is just a hilarious thing to think about.
And he has punted for the second time. He doesn't really do that often in games. He's got a lot of one-punt games. Against Nebraska, he had a 65-yarder. That was unfortunately a touchback. That was his only punt of the game. I mean, Tommy Doman's got a great leg. I always try to shout him out on any of these broadcasts. Media timeout. It looked like the first-string MSU offensive line was coming on the field, but we'll have to see. I don't know. 42
We're trying to make things happen yet. This is a very on-brand Spartan Stadium game for me. I'm not talking about the game on the field. I just mean the weather, the atmosphere, everything. This is kind of exactly what I pictured it would be.
You listeners, but like 80% of games I've been to here at Spartan Stadium have been
below 45 degrees.
Like disgusting. I went to a game against Central Michigan like 2018 in September, and that was beautiful. But right now, it is freezing cold, and this stadium kind of acts as a wind tunnel, unlike Michigan Stadium, I think.
And the cheerleaders trying to get an MSU chant going. It's turned into a Let's Go Blue chant because it's, I'd say, about 70-30 to Michigan, maybe 60-40 Michigan to Michigan State fans left here.
I mean, like, even if you're a Michigan fan, unless you're a sicko and you're like, I want to see what, I don't know, Jake Thaw can do.
What are you
You're
doing
not
here?
sticking around. Like,
it's 40 degrees outside and windy. Go home.
That guy's shirtless. Well, he's jacked, so he's got to be.
I mean, I know you paid for the ticket and it probably wasn't cheap, but...
No, I don't know about that.
I know they got a lot cheaper closer to kickoff.
You know, there is one more MSU game Black Friday at Ford Field against Penn State, the Land-Grant Trophy game. That's a real sicko's affair. Drew Aller.
Whew. Man, you've got a bone to pick with Drew Aller, William.
I don't know. Tickets might be $10. You might see me there. Day after Thanksgiving, after a Detroit Lions victory, of course.
Because we're not going to the Bahamas, unfortunately.
Yeah. We're about set to get underway. Big set for the Spartans. Evan Morris and Malik Carr motion to the right side. Very unbalanced towards that side. Hauser is going to take the snap from under center. It's a reverse to look like Jalen Berger. Alante Brown cuts all the way to the 42-yard line. Nice design play for Michigan State. Really the first wrinkle we've seen from them offensively today. They've tried to keep it simple, which I don't know if that's the correct game plan against a team that is much more talented than
I was expecting to see a lot of weird stuff from Michigan State on offense today.
And like Harlan Barnett, the interim Michigan State head coach, had talked about in his press conference that Mark D'Antonio had a secret formula to beating Michigan, who's now an assistant to the head coach on this staff. There's a run play up the middle is stopped by Junior Colson. And of course he has a secret formula. He was one of the best coaches in MSU history in beating Michigan. And a lot of that had to do with the trick plays he called, fake punts. He was all in on that, but we haven't seen a lot of gambles from MSU today. And you would kind of expect to see that in a game where you're down 42-0. But a reverse to Brown, inside give though on the next play. 2:45 to go in the third quarter. Second down and 6 from the Spartan 45. Play fake to Mangum, and Hauser is under pressure immediately and hit and sacked. Derek Moore in the backfield.
Derek Moore, another guy that in a couple years, he's going to be playing on Sundays. You're going to be looking for him. That Moore is going to be on the back of an NFL jersey.
On third down and 11, a completion to Malik Carr goes for a first down and more into Michigan territory. Nice throw from Caton Hauser, and Michigan State goes quick. Stack formation to the right side. Now a screen set up for Antonio Gates Jr., and he's tackled down for a loss of 1 by Keyshawn Harris. Yes, that Antonio Gates.
Another Spartan fan throwing up the M. They got on the Jumbotron and they quickly panned off.
You can't do that in front of Antonio Gates Jr. You might have him transfer. Antonio Gates Sr. nearly went to Michigan State, but ended up going to Kent State. Couldn't play both football and basketball, had to choose one or the other. Chose to play basketball at Kent State. Hauser in the pistol. Handoff to Nathan Carter, and he's swallowed.
I was going to swallowed up was the exact phrase I thought of. I mean, that is, boy, oh boy, this Michigan front.
Cam Good, Braden McGregor.
There's so many of them. That's the thing.
It's hydras.
Good is the 4th or 5th D tackle on this depth chart.
And it's largely the starting defense out there for Michigan right now. Junior Colson and Mike Barrett. Saw some Ernest Hausman, saw some Jimmy Roller. Now 3rd down and 15. Michigan State just converted a 3rd down and long.
9 and 7 both back there at safeties still.
From the Michigan 44. All day to throw for Hauser to the outside, Antonio Gates Jr. And the young wide receiver, I think, chose the wrong direction to run that route. Good coverage from Keyshawn Harris. Throw goes out of bounds. 4th down and 15 for MSU, and they're going to maybe send the punting unit out.
4th and 15. They punted.
Ryan Eckley's coming out. Yep, there was some debate. Hauser, I think, wanted to stay out onto the field, but Ryan Eckley.
Why not?
4th down and 15, that's a little too long. You're kind of just waiting for the Wolverines.
What's the difference between 42
the Wolverines pinning their ears back in pass rush and teeing off, which they've been able to do in this game. So from the MSU 44, Eckley will punt it away once again. Jake Thaw back to return. Comes up field, and the punt goes out of bounds. I believe it's a touchback, and it is. Michigan will start at the 20-yard line. That ball not able to deaden at the 1.
In respect to the handful of Spartan students that are still here and still staying rowdy, you're a complete psycho, but
what I mean, we're kind of losing our mind here at this point.
I absolutely agree.
37 seconds to go in the 3rd quarter.
40-degree weather for 2.5 hours.
And
more than that, honestly. We've been out here since 5:30.
Trying to figure out the Ethernet connection, but guess what? That ain't happening. Jack Tuttle back out onto the field. Same unit we saw before. Josh Beetham at tight end. Max Bredesen in the slot. Ben Hall in the backfield. And I think they called that ball out at the 10-yard line. So Michigan will start there instead of the 20. I thought it was a touchback. That's what the PA announcer called. Inside handoff, Benjamin Hall. He's tackled after a gain of 2.5 yards to the Michigan 12.
That'll likely take us to the end of the quarter. And William, you were talking about like kind of the Thanksgiving coming up in a couple of weeks now. Got me thinking about my Thanksgiving. I have to start running more because I have the turkey trot coming up. And last year, I ran in high school and had always been able to kind of just
now you're in a permanent bulk. You've been in a permanent bulk.
But I've put on some weight since my high school days. And last year I tried to run it with a family friend of ours who is a current high school cross-country runner, and I died about 2.5 miles in, so I can't do that again this year.
I knew a couple people who did the Free Press Marathon. Not my cup of tea. Not a runner. 3-minute media timeout at the end of the 3rd quarter. That's a brutal sight. We're going to have a fan kick a field goal. I don't know about
I think he wins a truck if he makes it.
I don't know about the line up that he's making here. He's also kicking in like Merrill hiking boots. Gets it off the ground, but
that's a pretty safe bet for that GMC dealership that they're going to keep their truck.
And the truck is backing up back into the tunnel. I could tee it up right now. Get me on the field. Boom.
Even some of the maize and blue faithful are heading for the exit gates, deservedly so.
The fourth quarter has yet to begin.
We're almost there.
I don't know, like, what is this, like when Tua never played a fourth quarter at Alabama? JJ's barely playing a third quarter. We're going to see Jack Tuttle in the offense try to convert a 2nd down and 8 at their own 12, now at the opposite end zone.
So I guess, William, I'll pose a question to you. Does this game from Michigan change anything you think, anything you thought about this team? Because to me,
no.
I think this is probably the best game, most complete game, well-rounded game they've played all season.
Too. But
I don't know that it changed anything for me.
I think that I would call the most well-rounded game Nebraska. That game was 45-0 until like 3 minutes left in the fourth quarter.
And it was just a long touchdown that was.
And there weren't a lot of mistakes. Like Michigan has had a touchdown called back due to a penalty, a couple dropped interceptions, a couple missed throws at the end of the second half to Tyler Morris. And like, you're up 42-0, but that's a nitpick. One thing that hasn't been shown today, maybe a long target to Malik Carr up the seam for Michigan State, but I've always seen Michigan's back end up the middle as a weakness. Touchdown against Rutgers, touchdown against Nebraska, kind of over the middle. Saw TCU break a few once they got to the second level, or the third level, excuse me. But on the defensive side, not a lot to complain about.
And this defense hasn't given anyone a lot to complain about it. At least that is for Michigan fans. Opposing teams, opposing offenses have a lot of complaints, but
we're going to have our research team on to see the last time that Michigan shut out Michigan State. I think that's a valuable question to answer. We've got, teams of people here working with us. Jack Tuttle now at the opposite side of the field. A little bit harder for us to read the numbers. 2nd down and 8 at the beginning of the fourth quarter. Bredesen motions out to the left side. A screen set up for Samaj Morgan, reversing field. Samaj Morgan breaks a tackle, gets a block. The freshman Morgan out to the 30-yard line, a 1st down and more. He's been a dynamic player, only a 3-star recruit. I don't think a lot of Wolverines fans expected him to be as dynamic as he has been. But he's caught a couple touchdowns, and the coaching staff seems to trust him.
He's been great with the ball in his hands, and these young receivers have gotten a lot of work.
First and 10 at the 31-yard line of Michigan for Jack Tuttle and company. Inside handoff to Ben Hall, makes a cut. Just trying to gain as many yards as possible, falls forward to the 35. And the last time that Michigan shut out Michigan State, it was in Ann Arbor, October 21st, 2000. 23 years ago today, they beat MSU 14-0. And the last time in East Lansing, Michigan beat the Spartans 42-0 on October 8th, 1983. That's something to watch as Michigan trying to go for their first shutout of the season. Tuttle drops back to throw. Over the middle, he's got Samaj Morgan. Breaks a tackle, and he's dumped by Jaden Mangum at the 41, but Morgan works into Michigan State territory.
There was tight coverage there. Morgan just hauled it in. And Tuttle fitted in there. A great pitch and catch.
And Wolverines fans thought that Davis Warren was going to come in this season and be the backup, but I think Jack Tuttle has proven capable. I think a lot of people thought he'd be more of an Alan Bowman type, comes in, gets his graduate degree, and hangs out for a few practices, plays a few games. But Tuttle, I think, is trusted by this coaching staff to get the number 2 reps.
And Jane Denegal even saw the reps over Warren at Nebraska.
3 receivers left for Tuttle in the gun. Another screen set up for Samaj Morgan, once again flagged down. This time State wraps up the young freshman. We'll check the penalty. It's Zion Young in on the play, but he's acting a little dismayed. but it'll be a personal foul, a tripping penalty on Giovanni El Hadi for Michigan. 15 yards back, it'll be first down and 25.
And that's really the first big penalty we've seen from Michigan today. They've played a very clean game, and I believe only 10 penalty yards in the first half. I think that's the first of half number 2. Jim Harbaugh's
It'll still be second
pleased.
down. Play occurred during the play, or excuse me, penalty occurred during the play. Second down and 22 from their own 47, now backed up after the big Samaj Morgan play. 3 wide receivers left for Tuttle. Still with Ben Hall to his right. Darius Clemens split wide right. Josh Beetham in motion. Inside give once again to, now it's Leon Franklin, excuse me, not Ben Hall. Flag down. Franklin gains about 1 or 2 yards. I think it's going to be a holding penalty on Michigan. It will be.
Michigan, I don't know what's happened here all of a sudden. They're going to back it up.
On Josh Beetham, 10 yards back to their own 34. It'll be second and 27 for the Michigan Wolverines.
And this is the second time in a row that the Jumbotron is panned to show the Michigan signs on the Michigan sideline. Back-to-back times they've showed it on the Jumbotron. Not typical behavior.
Jack Tuttle back to throw, looking to the right sideline, caught by Marlon Klein at the 41-yard line. The backup tight end on second down and 37 makes a grab. Now third down and 29. Probably see a draw play here. Aaron Brule on a tackle on Klein.
At this point, if you're Michigan, maybe you want to tack one more on, but you're trying to get out of here healthy.
11:45 to go in the fourth quarter here in East Lansing. Jack Tuttle takes the snap. He's going to look for his checkdown man, Leon Franklin, who is leveled on the play by Aaron Brule. Comes up limping on that one. He has left it all on the field today. I'd say him and Nate Carter have been 2 of the best Spartans in this game. Fourth down and 23. Michigan going to punt. Or no, what? Tuttle's on the field. Maybe third down and 23 they call it. So I think there was a mix-up on the holding penalty, they called it. So Michigan does get an extra down. Third down and 23 from their own 48. I thought Tuttle was going to do a little pooch punt, but I would have been more excited about that. 3 wide receivers to the left. Tuttle back to throw. Looking left, rolls right. Tuttle, room to run. He picked up a first down last week on a 19-yard scamper. Goes out of bounds, flag thrown. We'll check the call here.
Is that going to be another late hit?
Could be. Spartans had 3 personal fouls on the last Michigan offensive drive. Or excuse me, 2 Michigan drives ago.
Tuttle was pointing downfield like it would be on Michigan State.
This could be. No. It's on Tavier Dunlap of Michigan. A late hit. And Michigan, I think, will be forced to punt finally after, I don't know what to characterize that drive as. Sloppy.
Tavier Dunlap going over chatting with Jim Harbaugh.
And he's already kind of in the doghouse as it is. Got some snaps as the third running back last season. Kind of got supplanted by C.J. Stokes, and then C.J. Stokes in turn by Ben Hall and Khalil Mullings. Bottom of the depth chart at running back in flux. Leon Franklin also as a prize special teamer for Michigan, getting some snaps at tailback. This punt by Doman hugs the sideline and goes out of bounds at the 21-yard line.
It's a pretty good punt.
10:22 to go in the fourth quarter. Michigan State's going to take over. Media timeout. The cold is actually getting to me now.
I'm thoroughly cold now.
Yeah, it's really just cold. The MSU drumline is playing 2 Michigan Wolverines. I see only maize really in the Michigan State student section.
I see a little bit of green, but there's just as much maize and blue.
Probably just some friends over there. Gotta go to Harper's. $70 cover? Come on.
I don't know what it is tonight. I imagine it's not cheap.
I think it might be, if not that much, then more. I'm trying to see what the cover is at Raising Cane's, but we'll have to check on that. I don't know if they're still open.
After the Nebraska game, that Cane's.
Yeah.
That was a good call.
Well,
good audible.
Chick-fil-A in the Maryland press box might rival that.
We're going to have to find out for ourselves. That's going to be, ooh. Talk about organization.
Get them organized!
We're losing it up here.
We still got a quarter to go.
I know. We've got over 10 minutes of ball left. Oh, Lord.
I don't know. Who are we seeing on defense out there? DJ Waller.
I don't know. Rolder's already out there.
Rolder's played. Cam Brandt, Trey Pierce. I don't know if he traveled. Cam Brandt, I do see 91 in the Michigan huddle. Pick out some young players for Michigan that have gotten burned this season, and it is a valuable thing. So many Michigan players, like, they haven't just played against the non-conference teams, and actually the bigger wins have come against Big Ten opponents for Michigan. They've played like Big Ten talent.
Michigan, arguably their worst game of this, I think definitely their worst game of the season came against Bowling Green. JJ threw 3 picks, and it was
and they still won
never in
31-6.
doubt, but just the sloppiest game we've seen from them this year.
That was their preseason. They ramped up. Now they're in the real season, and they're beating teams by 40 every time out.
And I guess my thing with this, going back to the schedule talk, is if you're Michigan, who cares if you don't play anybody at the beginning of the year? These rankings don't matter right now. The Michigan being number 2 right now does not matter. It's the AP poll. Does not matter.
And a lot of people have said, like, what if Michigan comes out and gets ranked number 5 in the college football playoff because they haven't played anybody?
Doesn't matter.
Watch the games.
Well, it just also doesn't matter.
Yeah.
For Michigan, the season is going to come down to Penn State, Maryland, and Ohio State, the last 3 games of the year. Whoever they played in the beginning of the year, it wouldn't have mattered because you still have to win all 3 of those games regardless. And if you don't win those games, you're not going to the playoff. You're not winning the Big Ten.
And Michigan has a schedule. They're not Notre Dame where they need to schedule non-conference opponents to get into the playoff to strengthen their resume. If you win the Big Ten, you're going to the playoff.
Rutgers and UNLV are both bowl teams.
Pretty safe to bet. Sam Levitt entering the game at quarterback. Noah Kim getting skipped over by the 4-star freshman Levitt. False start on MSU's offense backs them up first down and 15 at their own 17. Levitt got some burn over the past few weeks after the benching of Noah Kim. He's out there to play with a few of the Michigan State starters at wide receiver, but a couple of offensive linemen as well. Trying to give him as much support as they can as a young quarterback. And there's still time, obviously. Caton Hauser isn't just the answer at the signal caller position. Pitch play outside, Jalen Berger left side, escorted out of bounds by Junior Colson into the Michigan medical tent. They're going to let this clock roll. Excuse me, it was Nate Carter, not Berger. Tackled by a few Wolverines. Colson, Rolder.
Still in the game.
Rod Moore also out there. Don't want to give up a long touchdown here. Levitt, 2nd down and 15. Batted down at the line of scrimmage by guess who? Braden McGregor.
17's had a...
Who hasn't had a day?
I don't know what else to say at this point. I mean, this has been a thrashing.
3rd down and 15 from the MSU 17-yard line. 9:50 to go in the 4th quarter.
This is what Michigan fans want this game to be. A complete dominance of Michigan fans in Spartan Stadium. Let's go blue.
Going to see a lot of memes for this for a while. Levitt evades Jalen Harrell's pressure, rolls outside, and I think he's got the first down with his legs before he is cut down out of bounds.
2 flags fly there.
And I don't know if that's a late. He still looked inbounds.
That was my thought.
That was just a big hit.
See.
Got to see the replay.
He hit low. Not dirty low, just a clean hit low.
Levitt, though, showing some ability. Late hit out of bounds by DJ Waller, and that's out of bounds. I'd call that a late hit out of bounds. Obviously, the momentum of Waller, there's not much he can do, and he looked like he tried to hold up, but just a football play. What are you going to do? MSU moving up to the 47, first down and 10 for the Spartans.
And that's a freshman with not a lot of experience trying to make an impact and make plays while he's getting the opportunity to do so.
Trey Mosley still in the slot. Tight end in motion. In the pistol is Levitt. Fakes the handoff to Mangum, rolls right. Throws right, caught by Christian Fitzpatrick. Knee down. He is down in Michigan territory. Completion for Levitt. MSU works quick. Levitt hit as he throws over the head of his intended receiver Foster. Coverage there by Amorian Walker. Third down and 4 at the Michigan 47-yard line. Walker gave Foster a bit of a bump, but that looked like an uncatchable ball. Nate Carter checks in. Antonio Gates Jr. in there as well with Fitzpatrick and Trey Mosley. Haven't seen a lot of Malik Carr today. It's been a lot of the wide receivers if they've gotten burned in the passing game at all. Here's Levitt on third down. Draw play, Nate Carter, a lot of room to run, and he is tackled by the shoestrings by Jaden McBurrows.
We should have said at the end of the third quarter, that's now 8 consecutive games for Michigan not allowing a point in the third quarter.
Spartans work quick in the pistol. Levitt drops back to throw, steps up. He is hit by the 2 interior defensive linemen for Michigan, Grant and Good. Excuse me, it's Trey Pierce and Cam Good. Call that no gain, second down and 10 at the 39. And I think Michigan State just wants to get close enough to attempt a field goal and avoid the shutout here. Levitt stays in the pistol. Michigan's defense looking to keep some dignity, wants this shutout badly. Let's go Blue chants, cheering their defense on. It's almost exclusively a Mays crowd here at Spartan Stadium. Nate Carter up the middle, gains about 4 yards to the 36-yard line of Michigan, third down and 7. Spartans go quick once again. 4 wide for Sam Levitt in the gun. Drops back to throw. No pressure outside. Caught Antonio Gates Jr. at the 27-yard line. Close to the first down. I think they give it to him by about a half yard. First down and 10 for MSU. 7:30, clock ticking. State gets up to the line in a hurry. Levitt. 2 bandmates in the backfield. Outside give to Carter, and he's tackled for loss by Jaden McBurrows. Loss of a yard or 2 back to the 31.
And that's a great job by McBurrows, a DB. Got a one-on-one with a running back in Spaeth. Carter, very shifty, broken a number of tackles today, and McBurrows goes low, wraps up, and brings him down.
4 wide once again for Levitt. Carter stays to the left of him. Michigan, straight rush of 4. Pass left side, complete.
Rod Moore tried to make a real jump on the football there.
Caught by Brendan Parachek on the left side. Rod Moore nearly had a pick. Third down and 7 from the Spartan 26. Levitt getting the call from the sideline. 6:30, clock running. Michigan up 42-0 in the fourth quarter. Trying to maintain a shutout. Haven't done a lot offensively in the second half. It's been up to the defense. Levitt gets the snap. Drops back to throw. He's pressured. He's hit. He's sacked. TJ Guy. 4th down and 15 for the Spartans. And let's see, do they want to kick the field goal here? No, they'll keep the offense on the field. Levitt jogging back to the sidelines like he was going to come off, but MSU trying to play for the touchdown here. The ball is at the 34. It'd be a 51-yard field goal and a little bit of wind. But the wind favors Jonathan Kim, the Spartan kicker. Interesting play on 4th and 15 for MSU. Harold Joyner back in the backfield once again. 4 wide for Levitt in the gun. A lot of noise from whoever's left here at Spartan Stadium. Pressure on the left side. Levitt gets it away. It's caught.
He's going to be right there.
I think they got the first down. It's Parachek once again.
That's short. That's a yard short.
Spartans think they're on the field still.
Where the ball was marked was a yard short. They marked it right at the 20, and they needed to get to the 19.
They're going to stop this and check it once again. Oh, my paperwork's blowing everywhere. Ruling on the field is that the runner was short, so Kellen's right. I'm going to say it's Michigan football, no review. And once again,
the Michigan sideline really loving that. You saw Josiah Stewart run all the way out, almost to the hash.
And Michigan has avoided giving up a goal-to-go situation. Once again, they still have not allowed an opponent inside the 10-yard line all season. That was what everyone was gassed about. I'm surprised they didn't just put the starters back on the field for that series. Media timeout. Michigan's going to get the ball back with 5:20. They're not going to get to 50. They never scored 50-plus against 3 straight Big Ten opponents, but it's not because they couldn't. They definitely could have.
Yes, that's definitely not for a lack of.
Which is surprising that Michigan left their foot off the gas kind of a lot in the second half. They've only scored 2 touchdowns.
Only. One of them being a pick 6.
Yeah, so the offense, J.J. McCarthy was out of the game about halfway through the third quarter.
Came out with more than 5 minutes to go in the third.
So, I don't know. It might be closing time here pretty soon. I'm going to take a little picture of my film camera, preserve the moment. It's been with me to all my road trips. Not like this is that big of a road trip. I'm going to grab my USB adapter that allowed us to not broadcast this game. And my Sharpie that I stole, not from here, from somewhere else.
Thanks, William. Thanks for that.
You're not talking.
There's not a lot to talk about. I mean, this game has been a curb stomping from start to finish, as my roommate Drew just texted me. Utter domination from the Wolverines.
I think the Spartan Jumbotron has shown that this was a first down, and I kind of tend to agree, to be honest.
That's really tough.
But for Wolverines fans' sakes, you don't want this to be a first down, because
for everyone's sake, just let's keep the game moving.
First down, Michigan, after a review. 8 games without allowing an opponent with inside the 10.
I think that's one of those where it was close, and if maybe the ruling on the field was different,
yeah,
it would have stood.
It's
but
a
not
stands, not
irrefutable.
it's a stands, not a confirm. Second team offense still on the field, but Jaden Denegal in at quarterback. First time we've seen him getting action today. He's played the past few games. Michigan kind of, say there's a quarterback controversy. They play 3 quarterbacks every game. They don't know who's the real guy.
3 quarterback offense.
Here's Denegal on 1st and 10 from his own 20. Give up the middle to Benjamin Hall. Stopped after a gain of 2 yards. And the second team offensive line for Michigan not getting a lot of push against the first team defensive line for Michigan State. Avery Dunn, Maverick Hansen, Jordan Hall still out there at linebacker.
Quick scouting report on Denegal. Big physical and can run.
A lot of good things. Denegal fakes a clap, almost gets Jalen Sami to jump on the MSU interior. Barks a couple orders out on 2nd and 8. Ben Hall motions out wide left. Empty set for Jaden Denegal. Screen set up outside, caught by Samaj Morgan. That's the 3rd time today, and it seems like Michigan State has learned their lesson about Michigan getting the ball to Samaj Morgan on the screen. Tackled for a 3-yard loss. An injured Spartan, it looks like, down on the field once again. 4:29 to go in the third quarter. Any thoughts on that?
I wish that number was lower.
It's a little cold here, folks. It's a little chilly.
I'll tell you what, we're going to pack up this board real quick.
Oh, yeah. And we're going to hope to have a little bit of fun after the game. I do say so myself.
I thought you said you were going home.
Well, there might be someone else calling this game who's actually live.
Legend of the game.
Who we could say hi to. Shout out to George Blaha. I was going to call a touchdown MSU as he does on the Spartan Radio Network, but there hasn't been an opportunity to do that. Tenegal back to throw out of the gun. And third down and 11 finds Fred Moore upended at the 29-yard line. Fourth down and 1 at the 29. Is Michigan's offense going to stay on the field? No, they confirm that it's fourth down. Tommy Doman will come on to punt. Michigan State will get the ball with around 3 minutes left, and it'll be up to the Michigan defense once again to preserve the shutout, not allow the Spartans within inside the 10-yard line, and keep a lot of those statistics preserved. Michigan has not, well, it's safe to say that the Spartans won't be scoring double-digit points. The Michigan defense has only allowed that once. Punt by Doman is fair caught by Tyrell Henry at the 26-yard line. And that's where we'll see Sam Levitt once again.
I guess, yeah, if you're Michigan, all you're hanging on to at this, to be fair, this sideline has been very energized this whole time. This team wants this. They remember what happened last year, and they want this badly. They've been enjoying every second of it, and they're going to enjoy it on their short bus ride back to Ann Arbor.
Sparty's trying to pick up garbage in the stands here. He's saying, everybody, clean up your garbage.
But this
is pretty good.
This Michigan team has come in and done exactly what they wanted to do. Is assert themselves and...
That's a good beard. Or no, it's a mustache.
It's a stash.
Well, his hair is so long that it looks like a beard. Ooh, helmet shuffle. Let's see. It's in the middle.
Are we playing helmet shuffle?
I'm playing helmet shuffle. We still got a minute 30 to go in the immediate timeout.
I always lose.
Eyes are on
the
prize. Well, that one's tough. I've done this. Really I've done the Spartan shuffle. Well, I usually get the Michigan one right, but the Spartan one is not too hard. They've had the same graphic for a while. Ooh.
I think I had lost it.
I still got it. It's 3, now 1. They're gonna do, yeah, they always do that. Oh my gosh. 3.
I was going to say middle.
No, it's 3. Watch me work right now.
It's going to be 1. No,
Watch me work right
2.
now. It's 3. Oh yeah, baby.
That's the most excited you've been in 2 quarters.
Still some guys hanging out.
NBC media timeout.
It's been about 4 minutes long each time. It's been really cool.
$200 seconds. Looks like Peyton O'Leary was getting some run on that last possession.
Shout out Peyton O'Leary. I almost had a class with him this semester, but I dropped it.
Pretty sure he lives behind me.
A whole bunch of new faces out there on the defense. I see Zeke Berry. I see Reese Atterbury at nose tackle. He's been out on the field before, though. Excuse me, I'm losing my voice. It's been too much excitement. Sam Levitt. Shotgun set, 3:20 remaining in the fourth quarter. Michigan State wants to score to avoid being shut out. Harold Joyner works out of the backfield in the flat. Intercepted. Pass was intended for Trey Mosley, and Jaden McBurrows picks it off. Second turnover of the game for MSU. That could shut the door on whatever the Spartans were planning to do. Now, if Michigan scores a touchdown and they go for 2.
I think they might.
That is something to watch.
Shocked.
That's a clean interception. It's Michigan football at the 33-yard line of MSU.
I would not be shocked if Jim wanted that clean 50.
50 burger. And Alex Orji making his season debut, entering the game at quarterback. Could we see an unmentionable in the end zone? Orji.
It's a keeper.
Keeper, right sideline. Shoved out of bounds by Dylan Tatum. Kind of a late hit. Gains about 5 or 6 yards. Clock stops. Now keeps running. But I think Michigan wants to score here. They got the ball at the 28.
You can't end with 49.
Second down and 5. You have to end with 50. We're saying it up here. Peyton O'Leary in the ball game. White left at wide receiver. Here comes Alex Orji. Jet sweep. No, it's a keeper. Orji rumbling and is tripped up inside the 15-yard line.
Oh, he had it.
That was
the fans wanted it too.
Such a great fake by Alex Orji. A jet sweep intended for Samaj Morgan. Orji pulls it, keeps it up the middle.
Just tripped
great
off.
Tackle by the shoestrings. Oh my goodness. Orji first down and 10 at the MSU 12. Morgan comes in motion again. Orji keeps it this time the right side. It's snuffed out by MSU. Loses 3 yards on that play. Second down and 15.
I don't want to make a big brother analogy at this point in the game, but it kind of feels like that's what Michigan is doing. Is they're
playing a little bit.
It's when you're playing your little brother in basketball and you just want to dunk. You don't want to. You don't want just to make a layup. You want to do something cool.
Second down and 13. Let's see if Orji wants to throw. Pulls it again. Orji on the right side, tackled down, about a gain at 2.
He's coming to the game, and all he's done is tote the rock.
And he looks good doing it. I mean, if Michigan really needs a third running back, maybe put him back there. Third down and 10 at the 12. This will be the last possession of the game. Clock running inside of a minute. Michigan up 42-0. Alex Orji with a chance to get it to 50. Collapse once. Gets a Spartan to maybe jump off sides. No flag. Orji looks back to the sideline. Play clock at 10. Inside of 10. He's got to get going. Hall switches from the right side to the left. Jet motion. Inside give to Hall. Orji is leveled, and a flag is going to fly. Ben Hall on the right side gains nothing, but the penalty is going to give Michigan a first down and about half the distance to the end zone.
And a chance.
A chance. A chance. We just need a chance.
30 seconds away.
You know, I mean, this one, if this one hits, kids are going to college. Kids are going to college. First down and 10.
I think if Michigan scores here, the game total over hits.
First down and 6 from the MSU 6. And now I'm not talking about betting. That's not the reason.
I know you're not.
Well, I want to make that very clear. The kids are not going to college because I'm betting on this game. The kids are going into college because we'll see what happens. Orji in the shotgun. Ben Hall, Orji, keeper, up the gut. Alex Orji in the end zone. Touchdown, Michigan. (48-0) with 8 seconds left in East Lansing. And they're going to put James Turner on the field.
Oh, Jim.
Man. Well, maybe a little trickeration.
I doubt it. If you're going to go for it, you're going to go for it.
I think they want to tamp the flames of this rivalry that have been stoked.
Spartan fans might be angry Michigan scored with under a minute to go. This is consistent with what they've done all season.
Well, they got an interception. They were going to kick a field goal, and Michigan State's penalty allowed Orji to punch it in and have a party. 8 seconds to go in the fourth quarter. Michigan up 49-0 after a James Turner extra point, the 7th of the day. And now the shivers have set in. Woo! It's time to go home, ladies and gentlemen. I wish this was live.
This has been an interesting broadcast.
Well, it's got the vibes of a late season softball game, but instead it's a football game. With
that's my last point, though.
The number 2 team in the country.
Michigan, against every team they've played this year, has basically put the backups in the fourth quarter and said, go try to score. Go do what you want to do. This isn't running up the score. Michigan has this is the 4th quarterback they have played in this game.
Yeah. Season debut for Orji, and all he did was carry the ball up the gut.
Don't have a unnecessary roughness penalty inside the 10 on 3rd down.
Eight seconds to go. Doman to kick off. Michigan up 49-0. It'll be their largest margin of victory of the season and their first shutout.
How about this defense? I mean, we want to quickly go over our 3 stars of the game. Let's say got to give one to J.J. McCarthy for arguably I'm going to call this his best game in a Michigan uniform. He had 276 yards at the half, 3 scores, tacked on another one to A.J. Barner.
Do you give it to Braden McGregor? I think he had a good game.
I think you give one to A.J. Barner.
A.J. Barner, Colston Loveland.
Just the tight end unit. And then you give another one to the defense as a whole.
Oh, yeah.
2 interceptions.
What is that, like
shutout?
35 players that saw the field on defense
Probably
today?
more than that.
Well, they only travel 75. Sam Levitt in the pistol. They're not just going to kneel this down with 8 seconds left. I think they'll probably give a handoff to Harold Joyner III. Working outside, and he is spilled by Jermon Green at the 25-yard line. And that does it from Spartan Stadium. The Michigan Wolverines have won 49-0.
And you know what that means, William? Paul Bunyan is staying in Ann Arbor.
And the Michigan Wolverines move to 8-0 on the season. Still ranked number 2. We'll have to check the rankings next week to see how many first-place votes Michigan receives after their biggest margin of victory of the season. They don't score 50, but they win by 49. I think we're ready to go. From East Lansing, I've been William Gregory. For my broadcast partner, Kelin Flynn, we've had a lot of fun. Paul Bunyan stays in Ann Arbor. Michigan wins 49-0. Thank you for tuning in to this recorded broadcast of a live watch of the Michigan State football game. As always, have a good night and go blue.